Hi. Hi, I'm not... Wait, I'm not moving. This is fine. Hi. This is great. Hold up. The game just started. Why are you rating me? I just started. I'm not technically out of my starting screen yet. Hi, welcome to the stream. That is an incredibly early raid. Hey, you're just done. That's nice. That's great. Hold up. You're... God damn it. Now you started earlier than I actually planned on doing. Thank you so much for the raid. Hi. Did you have fun with what was it? Mario Galaxy or something? I know you were planning on playing a Mario game. I don't know which one. Slap 3, that boy can fit so much time in there. Hell yeah. Also, hi, I'm doing well. I am actually well rested. Oh god, I had like, I think almost 10 hours of sleep in the end. Thank you so much for the sub. It's 5 months, imagine. Wow. We've been here for 5 months already. That is such a long time. Hello. The Galaxies of Mario was quite enjoyable. That is very nice. The first one? Wait, is there even a second Mario Galaxy? Why did I think there's a second Mario Galaxy? Is there one? There are 2. You're playing... Ooh. Where did I last save? This is where I saved, right? Fun fact, if you can read this, you're a gamer! Hello, gamer! How are you doing? Hello, hello! I see we're all pretending it is a Wednesday today. As you all know, it is a Wednesday. Not Thursday. No, no, no. It is a Wednesday, my dudes. Also, I need just a quick... Oh, what is this? There is blood on my arm. No, I don't like that. I do not like that. Why did I do a French accent? There are 2 Mario Galaxy. It's Wednesday, my dudes? Yes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Because I had planned on doing this yesterday. But obviously, since today is very obviously Wednesday, we're doing it today. Huh. Did I unmute the game? Because I'm not hearing any fucking sound. Yes, I unmuted the game, so there should be sound soon. Okay, great. I have to ask you to do an Arnie impression? Who's Arnie? I want it to be Friday. I mean, technically, yes, we do want it to be Friday, but I do want to play this game because Friday is Odinsphere. Ah. I have no clue how that guy sounds like. I cannot give you an impression for him. I can give you lots of reading, though. It is day 2, the terminal. Hello? Ah, what was that? I said, can I get 2 lattes? Yeah, sure thing. Is this really where we left off last time? I have no clue. You want those takeaway or not? For here, please. Go, take a seat, Elmer. For here, please? I haven't heard that in a while because of stupid Ronies. There's no for here because you cannot stay in anywhere. Wah, wah, wah. Wait. Ah, crap. You right, mate? Yeah, all good. I should really get Ashley to do this. Sorry, what? Nothing, just talking to myself. Alright. Where's the broom? Ashley! Where's the broom? Kind of Britain. Ashley? I need a hand. Come help me. I feel it. Come on, I've got to find a broom. And a girl. That what? Yeah, okay, she has a broom. Thank you. Thanks. That is a very interesting texture on that broom. Oh, what's wrong, baby? Oh no. Hey, are any of your friends around? Probably. Oh, Milky! Yay! It's finally a Wednesday! Wednesday again! What? When did you teach them to do that? I didn't, that one's just weird. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay, the milk bowl can fly. How you doing, kiddo? Sleep deprivation is kicking in. Sometimes I feel like nobody ever sleeps in this cafe. Yeah, that's... except Kishan. He slept a lot while he's been here, hasn't he? It's because you keep getting him drunk. What? I haven't done that once. Not you, you. I mean, you! So, not me at all, but Maddie and Nat. Gotcha. These what is that? Bridgens? Telling me. How's Maddie doing? Well... Oh. Oh. Finky. How close are we to being done? Fairly close. I'm not super worried about getting it done without Ashley either. Red. Anyway, what were you saying? Oh, just that I think I understand everything now. And that's all. Well, I appreciate your restraint and not generously supplying me with your moral take on it. No worries, don't want to be that guy. This is like another word for bandits, but it's being used jokingly. Aha! Dang, I'm actually gonna miss you once you're gone. Wow, there's some honest feelings coming from you. The icy facade crack. The correct word there is doused, and please don't make me take it back. Huh, I guess you really got into the whole boatman of the river sinks thing, huh? Well, I would also love to know what exactly she's planning to do with all these years. Please? Is that what you think I am? Kind of, yeah. Interesting. Do you not feel that way? I don't know if the metaphor is that accurate, but I can see why you draw parallels, but this place serves more as an entrance. You don't have to come here on your way to the next place, but it's on the route for sure. Just a stopping point on the highway to hell. I'm sorry we don't allow AC/DC references in here anymore. Oh? I wanna wave your hand. Well, I tried. We're less on a highway and more just an boat to the Empire. Can you use words that are a little more easy? I have small brain, please. If you want to get real fancy with the wording, that is. I don't. An entrance to heaven? Very roughly speaking, yeah. But hell, I haven't seen the other side, so I can't even say that for sure. I'm fairly certain there's something there, though, which, I don't know. I can take comfort in that, I guess. Oh, and speaking of comfort, how are you feeling? Like every particle in my body slowly moving away from every other particle in my body. That was rather eloquent. What use is feeling pain if you can't find a fun way to describe it? Well, maybe stop feeling pain? My heart freaking hurts! Okay, we're not going to stop feeling pain anytime soon. It sucks and stuff. I keep telling you, the painkillers will take effect in a few minutes. I'm not gonna stop yelling it out until they do! You know, some philosophers believe that experiencing pain is one of the best ways to make sure you know you're alive. That sounds fake. Philosophy is fake, Ashley. I'm glad you find that out with, I don't know, 13 years or something. Which philosophers? Famous ones? Oh my gosh, you're actually just making it up. Possibly. You could have sold it better. Say that some famous singer said it instead. Cross the generational gap. You gotta appeal to the kids! I feel like every time I do that, I just end up looking like one of those old guys who's afraid of wide-ranging social shit. I mean, you are old! I'm not! You're like 6,000 years old, you gotta give me this one! Fine. How's your head feeling? It still sucks. How about we grab a drink and go sit outside? It's nice and cool out there. Do I have to? Yes! Yup. Yeah, that looks perfectly fucking safe. Why even have a railing if you can just... Okay. How are you feeling now? Better? Marginally? Come on, I'm sure the drink isn't hurting. What even is this? I put 6 sugars in it. We found how old he really is. I doubt it. I really doubt it. Oh, you know me so well. So, how are things at home? Meh. What's that translate to in old people language? Things are normal, I guess. Mom's nearly done with her PhD. That sounds good. It is, probably. But she's pretty busy, so that means we're stuck eating microwave dinners at night. Ah, explains why you've barely left this place since last week. I mean, I'd be here anyway. True. You did ask her, right? What, if I could be here? Yeah, don't want to evoke her wrath, do I? She doesn't worry about me being here. You remember when she talked to Maddie about liquor licensing laws, right? I think it was more of a lecture than a conversation. After all, Maddie wasn't doing anything wrong aside from letting you hang around after hours. I'm still amazed that Maddie didn't just tell her that we're not technically subject to the regulations since we're not registered with anyone but the council. She made the right choice. That would have been an ugly argument. But anyway, she's fine with me being here. She's got my mobile number, and as long as I respond to a check-in, she's not gonna come and get me. What's this? Good parents in video game? Good. I wouldn't want to worry her.
Oh no, it's raining.
Ah. Wonderful. My arm will get wet. Don't worry about it, we can dry it off inside. Just try and enjoy the rain. Okay. I was joking about fake philosophy earlier, but I really do think it is important to take a moment to enjoy things when you can. That is very true. Rain can feel oppressive. It can stop you from going outside, doing the things you enjoy, but there's nothing like the smell of rain before sunrise. Petrichor. Yeah, it's faintly magical. Did I ever tell you that? Only about 100 times. I can hear it 101 times. It's okay. I like rain. I mean, I don't necessarily like it when I'm out there forced to get wet. But technically, rain is very calming. Alright, I'm actually getting kinda wet. Let's head in. So, given the fact that I'm very obviously a dog with a bleeding heart, it's definitely safe to assume that I've let people other than you stay longer than they're technically allowed. You're so emotionally repressed that I never could have guessed. It's actually impressive. Well, you know, we all have our ways of coping with persistent extreme stress. Millennial Yep. But yes, I do understand how you feel. Separation, the difficulty keeping your thoughts together, the base level feeling that something's slightly askew. And the fact, not the feeling, that your time is up. Never loved facts. Me neither. Honestly, I think it feels like having a cold just without any of the physical symptoms. Corona! I guess that description works too. It's not quite as compelling as the one about your particles being repulsive though. Oi, that's definitely not what I meant by that one. Isn't it? It's about time. Time for what? I can't believe I created these beautiful creatures and you turned them into dumb waiters. Alas, such is life. They gotta pay rent somehow considering how many cups they drop. That's a feature, not a bug. It's to make them seem more alive. You've taught them to intentionally drop coffee cups in the name of excuse me. Verisimilitude? Maybe. I'm gonna get Maddie to start ordering cheaper cups. See, I'm promoting efficiency in our procurement cycles. I hate whoever gave you that management book. I'm sensing some hostility. Do I need to talk to HR? Who's our human resources manager? I'm sure it's very good at his job, just not at bussing coffee. It's cute! Look at his little hands!
One new text message.
Why is that so blurry? Ah, Maddie wants us downstairs. Oh, I suppose she's done setting up? I'm glad she was able to do it without me. You are so cute. Gosh, so proud. Taught her everything I know. You are a gremlin, you know that? Of course. The best gremlin this game has to offer.
Shall we?
Yes, please. I want to do very legal necromancy things. Hopefully, maybe. I have no clue what we will do. Oh! Hey, this was the intro of the game. 12 a.m. basement. Okay, it's so bloody damp down here. I know we're in a cellar, but I don't suppose you have a window we could open or anything. Yeah, we've got a vent that leads outside somewhere. Maddie, can you open it up? Rise and shine, Maddie, rise and smell the ashes. Get some fresh air coming through. I'm pretty sure it's got a dumpster or something sitting on top of it right now. Besides, I'm busy. Just grin and bear it. Wow, we've seen this exact scene so many times. Just on account of me trying to play this game like 3 times. Can we get this over with? We've done this before, old man. Hello? You know it takes a while to set up. Calm your farm. I do not appreciate your tone. Sorry. Can we get some more lights on, maybe? With all the crap you've got scattered around the place, I'd like to at least know where I'm putting my feet. Ashley, would you mind? I guess. The one point and click action I actually have to do. Thanks. You're more organized than last time, I see. Practice makes perfect. Hey Maddie, how much more wire do we need? I think that's enough. I still love her shoes. Great. Now, Che, what's up, little P? I found you a chair.
Hey, how are you?
Ah, thank you. Why is there a hole in your pants? So, this whole thing, surely it's not legal, yeah? Yes, the council found it confronting. For good reason, I suppose. Because it utterly upsets the natural... Where the fuck did you come from? Mate, it's not just bureaucracy. Shush you. Most rules can be banned after all. And Maddie has a particular fascination with breaking rules. Hey, don't give her all the credit. Is this related to her gambling for time? Paperwork for Ned. So, the transfer was the same sort of magic we're doing now, yes? The council successfully suppressed all available information about it, though. For good reason! What happens if something goes wrong? Well, you don't tend to mess it up more than once. Or try it again after you fail, for that matter. What do you even call this sort of magic, then?
Necromancy.
Yeah, that's what I get for trying to do that. Question's irrelevant because it's banned. Badass? I call it badass. Well, by definition, it's a conduit ritual. But looking past all the smoke and mirrors and fancy names, you can just call it...
Necromancy.
Thank you for the hydrate time. And the posture check. All those hours are in this tree. Why did you hold the hours here instead of using them to pay off your debt? Why would I use them to pay off a debt if I could use them to save a life instead? Oh shit. Alright. How can I help? Okay. Will the subject please step forward? Wait. How? Why? Are we giving them to Jay? Council Gazette. We regret to inform you of the passing of Che Wu, a beloved fixture in the Australian alchemical community and owner of the terminal. As an innovator in alchemy and material spellcraft and as a friend to anyone and everyone who walked through his doors, he will be missed. You ready to do this again? Sure. Try not to kill me this time. Cool. Ashley, let's do... Wait, this time? I sleep. That was a real shit. Ready when you are. I hate this. You have reservations? It's unnatural to store hours in a non-sentient being like that. It can still feel pain, and this is a very painful process for everyone involved. Yeah? Yeah. It is? Guess it's time for us to watch the show. Let's see how badly things can go wrong. Yay! Oh. Calcination, solution, separation, conjunction, putrefaction, congelation, separation, sublimation, fermentation, exaltation, multiplication, I don't know what half these words mean. Conjunction. Good enough. Ashley, everything's nominal on my end. Looking good, so let's get started. Increase power to 80%. Sedation. Whee! Whee! I have no clue what's happening. Holding steady. Cool. Next segment. Activating. How are we doing? It's going fine. Conjunction's about halfway open. Just concentrate. Ooh, why is it turning red? Oh no, why is it turning red? Having some issues here? Hey, we need more power. Yep, wrapping it up. I don't know if this will melt our conduits though. Oh crap. Yep, our conduits are definitely melting. Ashley, language... Separation. Fuck! Bypass it! I can patch the wires, but I don't know what else I can. Do that now! On it! How close are we to finishing the separation? We're about 90%. Eee, what's happening? Oh god. Oh no. Shit. Shit. Are we gonna try again? I think I have to reinforce the wires and I'll fix it. Yes, we're gonna keep going until we make it through. Do or die. Reset then and start again. Calcination, separation, conjunction, libation. Oh, we're doing it again right now. Okay. Not again. Just a couple seconds more. And you've got it. Yes. Beginning sublimation. You got this, Maddie. What's next? You open the connection. Now all I've got to do is transfer the time. How are you feeling, Jay? I don't know. Jay? Oh, it's going red again. Oh god. Oh no. Sublimation. No! Okay, we won't stop. Gotten this far. I'm not giving up now, damn it. Maddie. Why do I feel like we're actually taking... I can't hold onto it. It's slipping out of my fingers. Energy levels are dropping again. See if you can keep it going for just a few more moments. Rerouting. What the fuck is Why do I feel like we actually took the hours that were left on Che? We could try it again. I don't plan on stopping. I think the concert's only gonna last one more go, then it's kaput. And maybe you're kaput too. I don't know. Shit. Alright, Ashley, take your position again. We get it this time. Yo. Stop. Just stop. No, I've nearly got it, I swear. You're not going to bring me back. No. I've humored this enough. You've done your best, but this task is beyond you. I need to move on, and it's time to make your peace with this instead of trying to pervert the natural course of things. You never asked me if I wanted to stay. You just made a choice for me and hurt yourself and everyone around you in the process. Let me leave. What? No! Okay. Yes, thank you, friends. Jacoby, your goddamn bin chicken is what you are. What?
No way.
Traps don't eat sushi or garbage. You don't know that. Yeah, well, you know what does eat sushi and garbage. Threskiorn is what? Otherwise known as the Australian bin chicken.
We find the term offensive for actually white ibises.
Aha!
Incriminated yourself there.
I expect nothing less from a bin chicken. Okay, so moving on. Classic misdirection. Oh, seriously, did you see what happened back there?
Yeah, I was rough. And yes, that thing with the ritual was also tough to watch.
You weren't here when Che died, but I remember they just behaved like nothing had happened. Oh. My impression was that neither of them had ever remotely considered the possibility of failure. Idiots. Yes, but we're only here because of them, so we should be respectful.
It seems to me like nobody in this cafe really seems to think things through.
Yep. This place has a weird effect on people.
Too much magic in the air, maybe? Who knows? Will they be okay?
I don't know how I'd forgive something like that. Being kept here against my will while my very essence breaks down. That is what I believe kids these days call a party foul. Honestly, I don't know. I think Maddie probably has some self-reflection to do. Calling raccoons bin chicken, maybe. I don't know enough about Australian wildlife. Oh, wow. Eloquent. Bureaucracy. Friend. Gremlin. Ritual. Millennial. Fascinate. Give me fascination. I want fascination. Yo. Yeah, today is Wednesday. Didn't you know today is a Wednesday? That's why I'm streaming. Ashley. Magic. Che. Melbourne. Wait. Law. Maddie. Guests. Alright. Yeah, today is obviously a Wednesday. That's why I'm streaming. Just embrace the break, no. Ooh, we are down here. Ooh, wow. I don't like that. What? Yeah, okay. Okay, what's the thing we have to read to finish the main story? Is it Beth? No. No, right? No, we can't leave. Oh! It's not red anymore. Sometimes they just sit. Ah, looks like this is the one we have to read. Can I even unlock this? No, I can't. Yes, I can. No, hold up. Then this is not the one I have to read. Which one is the main story? Judgment 2? But Beth 3. We haven't read Beth 1 and 2. That doesn't make sense. Let's just read this one and see what happens. Che came down the stairs and noticed that Kishan was still seated at the counter staring into a glass of something. It was a mixed drink of some kind, but it didn't look like coffee to Che. You mind company? Said Che, leaning on the seat next to Kishan. By all means. I'm gonna stop reading the sad. It got on my nerves last time. I don't see anyone else using that seat. Well, you might have been using it as a buffer. I'm not looking for conversation, but I'm not really looking to avoid it either. That makes two of us. He leaned across the counter and reached down, locating a cup and a bottle purely by touch from a familiar nook in the bar. He poured himself a fink of whiskey, just enough to warm his tongue. Kishan continued staring into his own drink, his expression unwavering. Jay shrugged and sampled his own drink, feeling the warmth of the drink as the whiskey spread across his tongue and trickled down his throat. He set the glass down. The next few moments passed in silence as Kishan continued staring into his own glass and Jay absently turned his empty glass on the counter. Kishan finally broke the silence. If you're waiting for me to finish off this drink so you can offer me some of whatever that is, you might be waiting a long time. I wouldn't offer you this. It's a special bottle, older than I am. Something like that ought to be kept in private, don't you think? Jay shrugged. I have no problem letting people sample it if they want it. This bottle has a way of never running empty. But a whiskey like this, you don't get it just by sitting there passively. You have to at least take the step of asking for it, because it only gives when people are expecting to get. If I offer, it won't work. It sounds like you have a bottle that is in the business of filling people's subconscious prophecies. That does seem to be the case. I try not to think about it. Bad juju. Juju. Is that a real thing here? As a real thing here as it is anywhere. Kishan looked contemplative for a moment. If the bottle is in the business of fulfilling people's expectations, what happens if I expect you to pour me a drink and find the bottle empty? Don't, said Shay, cutting him off. Don't even get me thinking about it, because if I start thinking about it, it might happen. I've got a good thing going here, don't jinx it. Alright. Sorry if I mess with your mojo, or juju, or whatever it is. I didn't mean to break anything. It's not as fragile as that. This isn't the first time I've had this conversation. Just, why play with fire if you don't have to, you know? I think I will have some of that whiskey. Lord knows I'm not making any progress with this. He looked at the drink in front of him and pushed it aside. Jay smiled and reached behind the counter for another glass, pouring a single finger for Kishan. Kishan took a sip. That's smooth. I know. They don't make them like they used to. Well, they do, but it'll take a few more decades to get there. Kishan cleared his throat and started coughing. He pounded his chest with his fist and let out a wheeze before settling down. You alright? Yeah, I think I'm alright. Whatever rut Kishan had been in when he sat down, he seemed to be out of it by now. There was something about that dry whiskey that had a way of catching people's throats by surprise, and there was something about a coughing fit that had a way of getting butterflies out of the stomach. Maybe it wasn't much, but it was something. Jay smiled as he put away the bottle, giving it an affectionate pat as he set it down. One less case of postmortem depression in the world. Good job, Pappy. What? Are you trying to make me an alcoholic or something? Who wants to live forever? Oh, this is the one we have to read. Okay, this is fine. Whoops. Well, we're going to read all of them anyway, but we're going to do the main story first. Special machines acting up again. Maddie sighed. Why does it have to be like this? It doesn't have to be like this. You're right. It wasn't always like this. If you travel back in time far enough, you find an era when we had a working espresso machine. And if you travel even further back, you get to a time when espresso machines didn't exist. Maddie reached below the counter for the bottle of Chardonnay she had opened that morning. It was half empty. Is this the prelude to one of those moments where an old man tells me about how lucky we are to have things so easy? Nah, things aren't easier. In fact, they're harder. That's why you need all the modern technology to help deal with them. Oh! Wow! Old man has some brain in his head. Chai nodded to the wine bottle in Maddie's hand. So, are you gonna offer me some of that, or just keep squeezing its neck like you're trying to choke it? Maddie began pouring a drink for Che. So, what were things like back in the old days? Well, for one thing, we didn't need glasses back then. Glasses are not a new invention, old man. I've seen pictures of Benjamin Franklin. Well, yeah, we had glasses back then, but we didn't use them. We drank straight from the bottle. Har har. No, really. Glasses are just one more thing to keep track of. One more thing to clean. It's much easier to just pass a bottle back and forth. That may be the case, but I'm sure our parents appreciate the extra effort that goes into making sure they're always drinking from clean glasses. I'm sure they do. That's another thing that's changed. Everyone's a connoisseur of whatever they're drinking. Is that you finger-wagging about how young people all have particular tastes? No. At least I don't think it is. I guess people are all enjoying the present moment more. Back when we drank sock juice, you were just doing whatever it took to get that stimulant into your bloodstream. Ditto for most depressants. Do I want to know what sock juice is? Because I'm fairly certain I don't. We didn't have coffee filters back then, so you use a ooh! Ew! The Warriors used clean socks whenever they were available. I'm sure you... Okay, Maddie closed her eyes, looking physically ill. You were saying something about people enjoying the present moment before that thoroughly awful digression about how you made coffee. Yeah. I know this is stereotype about how in modern society no one is ever really present, but if anything, I feel like it's the other way around. Nowadays, people are all about enjoying the present moment. People used to be way more obsessed with where they were going. As in, where they were migrating to? In a manner of speaking. Let's just say that I'm amazed how few people these days come in here asking questions about heaven and hell. 100 years ago, if you caught someone on the way out of this world, the first thing they want to know was, which place is this? And after they found out they were on a temporary stop to the next place, they want to know where it was they were going. There's still plenty of that. Yeah, but a lot less of it. And I don't think it was a case of people's priorities suddenly changing once they found themselves standing on a precipice? There were people who used to describe themselves as God-fearing. It was just a part of life. And now it's not. He shrugged. I guess people found more important things to worry about. There wasn't a lot going on back then. He took a sip of Chardonnay. Good thing I'm going to live forever. Roared, you go to hell? Hell yes. I've done way too much sinning to ever make it into heaven. You've done more good than ill for the world. I'm pretty sure that balances it out. You probably have a positive balance. Nah, I don't think it works like that. I'm pretty sure I'm just a bad person who happens to do good things most of the time. Well, it might not be good enough for heaven, but it's good enough for me. So I guess it is a good thing that you're going to live forever. That's actually really sweet. That's actually in some way or another really fucking sweet. I still don't think I would like to live forever though. It's so weird. Like, unless everyone lives forever. I guess. But outliving other people, I think that's really hard. You should have seen us coming. Whoa, wow! My eyes! My eyes! This is on you. There's no question. You're a failure. Gans is going to take the cafe away from you. And you should have seen this all coming. Episode 7! Ghost. I don't even know how many episodes there are in this game. Because when I looked at how long to beat, they said this game is like 3 hours long. But since I'm reading it all out loud, it obviously will take longer, I guess. Day 3, 7 AM, the terminal. This never gets old. You know, I wondered for a long time how I would feel if I never got old. And then I tried it out, and I got old anyway. There's probably a moral in that story somewhere. When did we ever have time for morals anyway? You're a Helion, you know that? It's weird to think that you used to just be a mild-mannered student. I was just better at biting my tongue. If anything, I just hoped I was able to make your life a little more interesting. We've had a pretty good run, mate. I don't want you to feel like I waste my time on you. Or that having you in my life hasn't been an absolute bloody privilege. Can we do this later? It's just... Of course. I reckon I see someone walking over. Can you get the machine ready? Yeah. Let's make some fucking coffee! Yeah, let's make some fucking coffee!
Ding, 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 ding.
Here you go. Again, sorry for the wait. Thanks. If it were anywhere else, I'd just not come back. But the beans... Yeah, and I promise it won't happen again. Thanks for your patience. How long was I staring at the wall? 15 minutes by my reckoning? What the hell? I came inside from sweeping up the front and just saw you staring blankly into your mug while a customer was just standing there. They were being very patient. Oh, me! 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 I don't want to inconvenience any of the workers when I'm somewhere. It's just like... I'll wait. It's fine. I sat at a doctor's thingy once, and like everyone before and several people that have come after me were already finished and gone again, and then suddenly after almost 2 hours the doctor comes out and is like, why are you here? I thought you had a digital appointment or something, like a telephone call appointment. I've just been sitting there for 2 hours like, well, I thought you'd call my name eventually. And then this the entire thing was over in like 10 minutes, so that was a good waste of my day. I have no idea how that happened. You're dissociating. I feel terrible. It's no biggie. Like you told me the other day, our roles are iconic enough that we can afford to get away with stuff like that once in a while. Well, yeah, but the context of the conversation was when we just thought of thousands of ashlings that didn't believe us. When we told them we were a stray piece of cutlery. Yeah, we probably shouldn't let that happen again. Trust me, it's not on the agenda. But like I was saying, people love this place, even if they sometimes have to wait 15 minutes for the barista to stop hyper-focusing on her coffee. Yeah, I don't know. That isn't meant to happen. How long have you been awake? I think maybe 3 days? Good lord. That's bad, yeah? I'm honestly amazed you're not seeing things.
Hello! How are you?
Oh, I'm hallucinating hardcore. No worries there. Also, I keep seeing faces and coffees and I keep having trouble reading this because white text on a light background is very hard to read. Please. Are they saying anything interesting? Nothing but echoes of my internal monologue. How's the Necrobarista? We have done some Necrobaristering, but it's not going well. More espresso, less depresso. I'm sure it's a fun time. It's a blast. Like, we tried doing a fun thing, but it didn't work out, sadly. So go to yeah, it's good thing I have my glasses. At least your hands don't need to be too steady to make coffee. See, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that.
Face!
Anyway, speaking of coffee, you should make some. I'm already like 15 shots deep, man. I think I'll die if I have any more. No, Maddie, I'm saying you have a job to do. Sorry, I feel like you're trying to lead me into some sort of conclusion here, but... for the customer, right here, who I assume is wanting a coffee. Oh, hi! Oh, shit! My bad. Haven't slept for... What can we get you? 1 latte, 1 soy flat white. Sure thing. Feel free to take a seat, we'll bring them over. Man, yep. 15 shots though? Really? Because, just saying, at some point you're gonna hit a lethal dose. I have some insane tolerance happening here, I think. I hope. Right. Well, I respect your right to make a complete idiot out of yourself and die in the process. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't. I can't believe everyone's gonna know me as the person who killed their boss in a botched necromancy attempt. You know, that's hella street rap right there. Council's gonna be too afraid of me to screw with me. I don't think they're too intimidated by you, fortunately. Damn it. Let's not worry about them for now, though. What should I worry about instead? Maybe the coffee you're supposed to make for the customer. Nothing. Buddy. I tried. Hey, actually, where's Ashley? Sleeping upstairs. We're not gonna get much out of her for a few hours at least. And Kishan's gone off somewhere in the terminal with Ned. They're around. Somewhere. Good that Ashley's getting some sleep though. Imagine if you did that. I'll sleep when I'm dead. You're not? Wait, I'm confused. I thought everyone who works here is also dead, but as we found out, only... I forgot his name. Only Che is dead? Because we accidentally killed him in an attempt to give him more hours, I guess? So the others are not dead, but yet they work here where dead people pass through. What? Also, she's okay, right? Yep. Just needs some rest and maybe a few days of tapering off caffeine. Oh, she's gonna be cranky. Why would you give a 13-year-old coffee anyway? She's gonna become addicted to it. As a mule. Well, I have that to look forward to. I'm sure it'll be plenty of fun. What can we get you? What roast do you have today? Ah, let me see. We got your standards, espresso, Italian, city. No, I'm looking for something fancy. Fancy, you say? What do you have in mind? I don't know. Something new, different, special, artisanal. Psst, Maddie. What? In English, that word translates to artisanal. Thanks. Anytime, mate. We've got a pretty nice house roast that we might like. The beans are sourced from a faraway land, enchanted with subtle magics. What land? Tell me. They're from Brisbane. What else? I'll give you a secret plan if you stop holding up the line. I'll take it. I'll sit down and bring it over to you. What are you gonna give him? Just gonna take a blowtorch to some espresso beans? Come on, Maddie. What? Don't be ridiculous. I don't know what you mean. I mean, that's a waste of time for you to do when you've got people to serve. Ah. Be right back. Ah! Do you want her to drink? Say no. You can't get. They have juice. She just said they have juice. You can give her juice. Give the 13-year-old juice. Please give the 13-year-old juice, not caffeine. God, you weren't kidding. This is awful. How are you able to drink? Hold up. How are you able to drink that without your entire face crumbling into dust? It's so dry that it gives Antarctica a run for its money. Antarctica is a desert, technically. Shut up. Yes, you said it. I find it drinkable because it reminds me of good times. What? It's totally shithouse. It reminds you of lost loves. It's very worrying to me that its concentrated bin juice reminds you of a relationship. Oh, I've told you about her. Wait, you're not talking about... Yep, the fugitive. Oh. Why are you not reacting to me pressing the fucking button? Hello? Oh, I can actually click on the yellow. What? We are 4 hours into this game and finally found out you can click on the yellow words. Okay, thank you. The one who I took in for a few months. I thought you liked her. I did. The taste reminds me of her because it's smoky. Like licking a frigging tailpipe. And has vague hints of iron. I have concerns, Jay. Never thought I'd have a succubus drop by to... Wait, you never told me she was a succubus? Didn't I? Well, I suppose it would have been inappropriate to mention that in front of Ashley. Oh yeah, her head would definitely explode. But yes, she was a succubus. I wouldn't have ever expected a cute demon to crush at my bar, but ended up having a wonderful, if short-lived relationship.
Well, thank you for hydrating. Hold on.
I shall be drinking water. No juice, no coffee, just water. That's actually really sweet.
Hey.
Yeah. Still weird that the coffee reminds you of her, but I've heard weirder things. If I explain it to you, your head would explode too. Well, you mentioned tailpipes. Oh no. Well, that's my break time over. Time to get back to work running a cafe doing barista things. I'm gonna go perform some barista-related activities and you're welcome to join me, I guess. Don't forget to water the plants. Water them yourself. It's your job. Busy. Goodbye. Will we actually get to meet the succubus person? Probably not. Are we seriously here just so we can be out of a robot fight club? For real. Is this why I was raised from a dad and sealed in a metal shell? Is that the only reason? Guys, I'm freaking out.
Why aren't you saying anything? Guys.
Egg puns. Right, I should poach some of them.
Seriously, is this not a big deal to you?
Nah. We only fight if we want to, and it's all in good fun.
You're really endorsing capturing creatures and forcing them to fight one another?
Sure, why not? It's not like we really have the capacity to get injured or bleed. Ethics matters.
Unbelievable. Too unbelievable. Eh.
Hey, is that the sound of someone calling us? I think it might be. Duty calls and all that. Toodles!
Doodle! Doodle! Hehe. Toodly lulu. Ooh.
My high morals was I'm wearing a milk bottle as I had. Yeah!
Okay, echoes, fugitives, we are the latte. Relationship, short-lived succubus.
go. Whoa.
Lore. The terminal. Magic.
Ooh.
Maddie. Food. Shave.
Alright. I think there's still one thing category we have not gotten once yet. I don't know which it is though. Alright.
Keep the balance.
Looks like this is our main story, yes. You overdue this week, said Ned. He tapped the list of rules that Manny kept posted by the door. This 24-hour rule? Are you sure you've been enforcing it? Wait. No, hold up. We read this one before. No!
Ah!
Did it? Yeah, we read this one. This is fine. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just turn it into Net the Critic. Okay, hold up. What did we not read yet? Where could our main story be hidden? Hello? No. Hello? Hello? I am in search of the... Ooh. I am in search of the main story. No. No. No, it's this. Yeah. Oh! Is this one? No, this is one we have to unlock. Hello? I am confused. Ooh! This one maybe. Nope. This is also one we have to unlock. Where the fuck is our main story? Or can I just continue with the tablet for once? Ah, maybe... I guess we can! Because we already unlocked the entire cafe. Good to know. No, that's not the main story. The Maddie thing, you have to unlock it. I'm missing one category. Point. Hello? Okay. We know that this thing is kind of sentient, but... Hey, Ned. These bloody things are just... Ugh. Now who's making a mess? Shit. Don't scare me like that, you wanker! You... Mate. You don't look so good. This thing? Yes, Che. It's fine. It's very obviously is not. You keep yourself together. Fine. Ooh, it's pink now. I've only seen this once before. People don't tend to last as long as you or I. And even when they do, it hurts like hell, yeah? Does Maddie know about this? No. She's got enough guilt to deal with. I'm sure she just believes I'm uncomfortable like Keyshawn is. What stage is he at? Headache is, memory loss. We had a bit of a chat about it yesterday. Che, I know. I'm not staying much longer. I'll stop disturbing the balance before long. Damn the balance, you're falling apart as I watch. Like I said, I'm not staying long. I cannot believe Maddie's presumptuousness. Hey, cut it out. She realizes that she's messed up and she's doing her best to make amends. Surely it's too late for that. I don't think so. Come on, come sit down. Things aren't that bad. No. No. I might be dying. Things aren't that bad. I might be dying. And I might be having to deal with a lot of pain and guilt, but... Guilt. I feel like I failed as a mentor for Maddie. She's not going to regain her confidence for a long time, I think. In necromancy? And just in general? It's easy to second guess yourself over every little decision after something big like this happens. I'd appreciate if she second guessed herself a little more often, to be honest. I'm sure you would. Anyway, aside from the pain and the guilt and the impending death, I feel quite good. Bro! That's not how it should be. Yeah, you sound like you're doing great. I'm just happy that she doesn't feel like she has to save me anymore. Even if that's just a result of her not managing to pull off the ritual. I don't feel like it was ever about the ritual, was it? No. We tried it the first time just because we were feeling like doing something risky. Something that could give us a little extra breathing room. Breathing room for... getting a console for our bags, actually. Getting some space to pursue our studies without outside interference. Oh. But even that was just, I don't know, maybe motivated by spite or something. You've got plenty of reasons to feel a way towards us. I don't feel a way towards you, mate. You know that, right? I had some doubts. You might be a constant needle in my side, but you're also one of my oldest friends. And that means a lot more than any sort of affiliation with a bunch of snobbish prudes who wouldn't know innovation if it slapped them in the face. That doesn't mean I don't miss the good times we had. We were undermining governments before it was cool. You mean the prank letters we kept sending to the parliament in 77? Subversive pushes for real democracy. Uh-huh. You know, even when I met you, you seemed like you'd never die. I didn't know anything about you, but you had a weird energy around you. I didn't plan on it really. The plan was to stick around for as long as I wanted to, and then move onwards when I felt like it. Do you feel like moving on? That's what boys will be boys! I'm getting more comfortable with the idea. Icarus didn't want to fall into the ocean either, but everything's gotta fall out of the sky at some point, and Maddie was just trying to catch me. You're not actually okay with this. No, I'm not. Lying to myself is easier than admitting that. I'm gonna miss you, mate. I hope you won't forget me. Forget you? I'm going to stick a photo of you up on a wall in our office. Big one. But seriously, I want you to know that you've been a good friend. Even though we've taken different paths. When you caught me and pressed me into service, seeing you again was the thing that really brought me back to life. Made me realize I could live like this. Stuck here, because there was nobody else left for me. Nobody who could see me, at least. You know? I won't forget that. That means a lot to hear. Thank you, friend. Hey, hey! Don't make me sad! Yo. Hey. You alright, mate? I'm going to sit here for a bit, if that's okay. Right here on the ground. If you'd like me to leave, just let me know at any time and I'll let you be. Alright? It's a nice day out. The weather here can be a pain in the ass, but days like this, they make it worth it, you know? I love to just sit and let the sun warm me. It's been a couple of weeks since it happened now, and I feel like the sun's warmth is the only thing that really helps me pull myself together. Yeah, what are you feeling? I'm feeling it too pretty intensely. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. A few times a day, I totally lose myself. As in, my sense of self. And also my physical self. But if you plan on sticking around taking up a position with the council, that'll go away. You definitely don't want to stick around as long as I have. Not to assume intent or anything, I just had a hunch seeing as you were talking to Ned. They're not evil, they're just impartial, which is its own kind of cruelty. I wouldn't judge you if you wanted to stay either. There are plenty of delights hidden in Melbourne's dark corners. Ned can show you around, if you ask nice enough. I'm sorry, mate. I've gotta ask. Is this helping at all? Because I'm honestly happy to sit here in silence. I thought you'd appreciate a yarn, though. No, it's fine. Alright. So fun things in Melbourne. I suppose the story starts around the 1860s when I first came over. Learned the language pretty quick. Not that it helped with dealing with the colonials. What do you come over for? Gold. Same as everyone else. And so... Then he shows me these ridiculous drawings of himself wearing armor, like a medieval knight. Always had an odd noble streak in him. Maybe he didn't aim it in the right direction all the time, but then he left before I could help him use it a little more productively. And things changed pretty quickly after that. I see. It's never too late though. Maybe you'll be able to help him rekindle it, eh? Me? Oh well, I don't think I could. It'd be easier than you think. I have to take your word for it. Regardless of whether you decide to meddle, do take care of him for me, alright? I mean, man has a lot of pain, and Maddie's not necessarily always the nicest about it. I know that I'm asking a lot. You don't have to coddle him or anything. Just watch out for him when you can. I think I can do that. You heard that, right? What, the noise inside? Yes! Is it something bad? I have a rough idea of what it is. No need to worry. I'll deal with it. And if I don't see you before I go, you will. I'll make sure I'm here. See you in a little bit then. Get him, Cooper! Make your creator proud! Palmer, stop slacking! Duck and weave! Kick is ours! That's an order! Ashley! Ah! No knife this time? I mean, what? Turn around. Now, how did this get... Oh. Yeah, went straight through you. Interesting. I'll say. You should perhaps not do this in the future, though. Most people aren't as insubstantial as me. I'm trying to wean myself out of the habit, yeah. You notice that this knife is slightly smaller than the previous one? I honestly can't tell the difference. But I'll take your word for it. I'll be throwing butter knives at the back of Maddie's head before you know it. Don't worry. Please don't murder each other after I go. Of course not. No, really. It'd break my heart if you two stopped being friends over something silly. I won't let it happen. Good. Wait, are we just all alright with him going to the other side, which means he will die? I don't like that. Now, what's happening here? Just doing some prototyping for a Raw Battle Royale. Ah, the name though. What about it? I just feel like everything's a Battle Royale these days. I have no idea what you're talking about, old man. Never mind. What's the story with these poor things? Cooper and Palmer? I want to see if they still remembered Asimov's laws of robotics. And did they? No, Palmer gave me a light stabbing. Oh dear. Are you sure you're alright? Yeah, I like to give them a little taste of blood every now and then. Makes them fight better. Hungrier. Hungry for victory and blood. And I'm assuming you'd rather them not follow Asimov's laws? You assume correctly. Please don't let these mix in with the rest. It'd be impossible to tell them apart. Why would that be a bad thing, though? Because they'd be terrible at delivering coffee if they knew they could use the Mux's projectile weapons? I think they'd be extra enthusiastic. I won't, though, don't worry. I wasn't going to do it in the first place. Look at you, turning into a responsible human being. Hey, you take that bag. No, I'm proud. With you and Maddie in charge, I feel like I'm leaving the cafe in good hands. We'll do our best to make you proud, you old fart. What did I do to deserve that? Getting all sappy on me? Ah, if you'd rather me not talk about it, nah, it's fine. I feel pretty good about it. Good. People always come and go from here, right? Oh, I suppose you're used to it. I think so. I sort of expected to be all sad and emotional, but this is just another goodbye. And that's fine. I'm going to be sad, yeah, but I don't think this is a new feeling. Plus, you're always going to be around here to some degree. Can't have the cafe without the J. You're a good egg, you know. A good egg? What? Oh, I was assuming there was going to be some kind of pun following that. I would never. Would you not? I probably would. The truth! It's finally revealed. Good. Because I'm great and you don't need any encouragement. Good egg? Really? I called you that because when you're around, it's always a shell of a good time! I'm always cracking up! You've got an excellent poker face there. Don't you like my yolks? I'm not scrambling the delivery, am I? Oh my fucking god. I like the jokes. Ooh, here you go. Let me know if I can get you anything else. Can't leave you for a moment without you being mean to the customers, can I? You gotta stop appearing out of nowhere, man. Gotta give me heart palpitations. But you didn't even jump. I'm very startled. Internally. Well, enjoy it while you can. You're gonna keep using that excuse for everything, aren't you? Might as well, right? I guess I'll let you get away with it. How generous. But you gotta come downstairs and help me figure out some stuff. What sort of stuff? Science stuff. You want to troubleshoot the ritual, don't you? Yep. And you're sure you want to do that instead of anything else? Uh-huh.
Ooh. Yes, funky technical stuff. Yes. Oh, everything's broken.
What the shit? I don't remember leaving it like this. Unless you let a gorilla in after I left or something. That didn't happen as far as I'm aware. Oh, nah. I just tapped into the building's subliminal memory. And here. The absolute rat bag. Maggie caps, exotic chalks, and not a single thought for how they're used or for obtaining the proper import licenses and so. Gonna have to shut it down, no question. Oh shit. Well, that's not a good sign. Not surprising though. That's a problem for later. Really? Yep. God, just look at these magic caps, they're totally fried. Maddie, I wonder if we just need some really big resistors in the circuit? What could they achieve? I just get hotter and we'd lose some of the energy. No, I think we maybe had too much energy at that point. So if we dissipated some of it during the second phase when we were trying to transfer it anyway, it might have stopped the conduit from overloading. Would it not be smarter to just try and transfer less energy in the first place? I think we'd have issues with opening conduit in that case. We should have drastically rethought our approach after the first time. I'm glad we're having this revelation now instead of at any other time. And given the multi-phase structure of the ritual, it's obvious now that we need to shift the ways in which we were utilizing energy and just boosting the amount we were trying to pump into it. Maybe I'm just talking in circles here, but I still believe this is viable, just maybe not with this equipment. Have you got a pen on you? I have to write this down somewhere. I don't believe it's worth it to keep on trying to make this work. I agree that's probably possible, but what? I can't bear the thought of you getting yourself killed by trying this again. You already gotten close to hurting yourself twice. But I didn't end up hurting myself, so it's okay. Yes, because I took the hit. Both times. And as long as you're trying this, you're going to keep hurting people, and eventually you get to the point where you can't bear to see anyone else get hurt through your recklessness, so you use yourself as a test subject. And you will die. Get it into your head, damn it. You want to know what it's like to be on the other side of this? Wishing for one more day? One more good day where you can think straight and not have to worry about saying goodbye to your friends for the last time? I keep telling everyone that I'm fine with this, that my time was up anyway. Guess what? It's a lie. I was lying to myself and to everyone else. I am terrified of leaving, and I'm pissed off too. Of course I'm pissed off. One life was never enough for me. I feel incredibly guilty, Maddie. Any failing of yours is mine because I didn't teach you well enough. I'm too far gone to fix things, but not too far gone to care. But please give me this. Don't throw everything away. Nothing is more important than this. Just don't. If you want to respect my memory, all you need to do is remember me. My life's work is the cafe, not this ritual. And I'll be damned if I let you throw that away or throw yourself away just to stroke your own ego. My one regret, my only regret, is chasing a power myself. Stretching myself thin to find extra time, and for what? Some overblown sense of achievement? I regret it. And as I stand on the cusp of oblivion, I realize that I'm afraid for the first time. It's new, Maddie, and it burns. I don't want to go. I want one more day. Just one more day. After all this, after you kept me here against my will, without asking me, without taking a second to check whether I was okay with it, at the end, I can't bring myself to take the last step without being pushed. Isn't that ridiculous? It's not. I really am losing it, huh? Everything about me is drifting away. Che, it's not. I'm sorry. Let me finish. I shouldn't have forced you to stay. You're right. And everything you've said is fair and valid and understandable. Except for one thing. You might not feel like it, but you're still a Che I know and love. Doing your best to take care of everyone, keeping us safe from anything that get in their way, and giving them the space to work things out themselves when they need to.
Thank you for the posture check.
I tried to follow your example, but I guess I didn't stick the landing on the last bit. Wish I could have given this another shot, right from the start. You said earlier that having me in your life was a privilege. Che, the privilege is all mine. You feel guilty for this and that's fair, but you've changed my life for the better in 1,000 different ways. And I think a lot of other people could say the same. I don't blame you. Maybe one day soon I'll be able to stop blaming myself too.
Hey, good morning.
How are you? I'm sorry for yelling. You didn't deserve that. It's okay. And you know it's okay to be scared. You can't practice dying. It's not just... No. Even when you pulled off the ritual, it would have only given you a month or two before things started getting bad again. But desperate times call for desperate measures, yeah. Look at us. Pair of saps, aren't we? I feel like it's healthy, like eating your emotional vegetables. Nah, this conversation is more like Hispanic. As in, good in a cliché, or I'd kick your ass if I didn't know my foot would fly right through it, you know? Very fair. Oh, I don't... God damn it, I skipped that one. Excuse me. What did that say? What did it say? I don't know if I can... Okay. Do what? On this? I know things feel overwhelming right now. But believe me when I say that you're the most qualified person in the world to run this cafe. The most qualified living person. You fucker. And I'm the most qualified person to make that judgment, so there. I guess I can argue with that. You sure can't. I fully believe that you're gonna do some great things with this place if you can't stop Ned from shutting it down. Don't fall into the mindset of preserving broken things just cause they remind you of the past, okay? I won't. Ah, the girl. It's something I need to go do. Come find me when you're ready. I won't be too far away. Alright, I will. Day 3, 4 p.m. the terminal. No, not like that. Like this. But you said not to tamp it too hard. Look at it, the coffee just fell out. You gotta tamp it hard enough that it doesn't fall out. You could have told me that before. I didn't expect you to just slightly tap it. Ugh. Hey, is this gonna take much longer? I've got somewhere to be. Give me just a moment. It's just a short black. How are you finding this hard? I got this. Acceptable. Hey, that was meant to be mine, right? We're just exploring synergies and working on disrupting the coffee industry. Please bear with us for just a moment longer. Again. No! Don't worry, mate. You're doing fine. Are you gonna make my coffee? Actually, we're gonna close up for the night. What? But it's not even getting dark yet. What sort of crappy coffee joint closes at 5 in the afternoon? Basically every place in Adelaide, I think. But we're not there. We're in Melbourne. So just go find coffee somewhere else. Unbelievable. What? One gives, old man. I'm closing because I want to spend time with you, Lord. Yourself included, Ned. I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me. Of course not. How long are you planning on sticking around? Not much longer, you old comedian. Yeah, I'm learning a lot of words tonight. I didn't mean it like that. I know. You should all sit down. I'll make us drinks. Oh. So I've decided that this is it. I'm gonna head off in a little while. You sound pretty calm about it. I am calm. So I suppose this is... Not yet. Alright. You want one too? Yeah, if that's okay. It's not like we have a shortage of curly straws. Well, in that case... Never say I'm not prepared. Amazing! I want a curly straw! I don't have a curly straw. The man knows what his people need. A rare virtue. Well, it's very much appreciated. I'm just glad to see you all smiling. This shouldn't be a depressing memory for any of us.
5 p.m. outside the terminal.
Honestly, it's refreshing to see people's attitudes toward all this. I walked in here and felt pretty comprehensively awful, but being here for this, it's helped. I'm glad to hear that. When you see it so often, it's hard not to develop a more relaxed outlook, you know? Every month we get dozens of people like you. Like us, I suppose. If I have the power to help people be at peace before they move on, why wouldn't I exercise it? You were always too nice. Better too nice than too harsh, generally speaking. Not sure about that. I'm sad. I'm sad about this. Just wanted to make that clear. But I'm gonna be okay. Promise. Thank you, little P. Hey, I need to ask you a favor. Me? All of you, actually. I need you to look out for Maddie for me. She's gonna need some extra love for a while. Course. Yeah. Alright. I know you two have had your disagreements. No, it's fine. I'll play nice. You have my appreciation. Really can't say no. Can't really say no, can I? Oh, you better milking this. I'll allow it. Any chance you come along with me? Absolutely not. I've got things to get done here. Can't be gallivanting off to higher planes when I'm drowning in obligations. Well, can't blame you for that. Speaking of Maddie, where is she? I think she's upstairs somewhere. I'll go up and join her shortly. Will you be coming back now? I don't believe so, no. I see. Is there anything you three would like me to do for you before we go? Any special requests? Nothing for me. I'd ask for a special drink or something, but I'm sure Maddie knows all your recipes. You'd be correct there, Ashley. All I require from you is your soul. No, you goofball, I need that. Well, in that case, can I have your stuff? You can fight Maddie over it. I say fight, but she gave up pretty easily. Nice. Ned. Anything you want before I go? Don't leave me. No. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Don't worry about it. I ought to be doing things for you anyway. Running errands, carrying milk from the server, you know. Man, the sun's getting low. I gotta go in a moment, I'm afraid. Are you scared? Nah. Cool. Feeling old. Not half as old as you deserve to be feeling, I reckon. Trust me, I'm feeling it. Now. Oof. Oh no! I'm gonna miss ya. Gonna miss you too. I wish you didn't have to go. Me too. I thought... Why did I think Necrobarista was like fun, lighthearted, not people die? Can I play a fun, lighthearted game for once? It's been cool. Definitely. I'm glad you came in. Yeah, me too. Maybe I'll see you someday in the future. I like that. Not too soon though. Of course. Ned, I've got to go. Still can't believe you were the first one out of us to go. Life was full of surprises. Aww. Wherever I end up, I promise there'll be a place for you there. Thank you. I always be proud of you no matter what. Oh, you can look... What? Oh, you can look through Ned's funny blue part. I never noticed. Alright, enough of that. Fair enough. See you around, mate. And you. Why would you do that? Ooh. Hello. Manny maintained her calm. His body had laid here for weeks now, gently moldering. He'd refused to visit again after the first time. She didn't blame him. Can you really expect anyone to be cheery about the prospect of sweeping leaves over their own grave? But she didn't mind doing her job anyway. She'd always liked gardening, bringing things to life. Wait, what? Huh? So I know that Ashley built us, but as the owner of the venue, aren't we technically bound to Jay?
What is the implication here?
When he's gone, what happens to us? Huh. We'll be fine, right?
What are you thinking?
I don't know. It didn't really cross my mind until now. Worst case scenario, we all just vanished. Nah, worst case scenario, we vanished painfully.
Thanks for that. I feel way better now.
We'll probably be okay.
Probably. How long until we find out?
Should be any minute now.
Well, this has been fun. Guess we just have to just wait and see.
I guess. Here we go. Here we go? What do you mean here we go? Here we go? End of the game? Hello? Whoa! Ooh. Taste of blood. Hell.
Cracking. Confidence. Internally. Warm. Rekindle. Proud.
Oh, I can just click all of them? No, I can't. The fuck? Okay, I don't know. Last time I wasn't able to click more than the 7 anyway.
Che.
Again, Che.
Magic. Maddie. Again, Maddie. Magic. Alright, game. What else is there?
Yeesh. What? What the fuck? That is an awful... Help! Ugh. Do I have to go out there? That noise is awful. Ew, why is it blue? What the fuck? Okay, I'll just fucking run. That noise is awful! Don't do that. Ah! What? What the fuck is going on right? Hi. Yee! I don't understand what's happening and I don't like this. Hi. Hi, bye. What the fuck does this game want me to do? No? No? Am I supposed to get on the train? Is that a train? Ah. Jesus fucking Christ, what? What? Okay. Am I allowed to move? Nope. What the fuck? What? Hi. Hey, old man. Hey, you. How you doing? Fine, I guess. It's good, I think. Yeah, I think so. Why is this so awkward? I've never had to do this before. Not even as the one who's got to sweep out the mess afterwards? Not like this, no. Gotta say I'm a little surprised. Life has a way of taking you for a loop like that. So are you gonna... No, not yet. Let's sit for a few moments, it won't hurt. Sure. Did we ever find out why this game ran so poorly the first time we tried it? The first time we tried it, I was still using Streamlabs, and I'm guessing Streamlabs used too much of my computer's resources. Well, like Streamlabs OBS. Now I'm just using OBS, it still has some problems. You're just not seeing too much of it, because the good thing is the game has very little going on, moving-wise. I do consistently get dropped frames, but it's not that bad. Like, imagine if this game had like as much fast-paced combat as Nier had, then I think I would never be able to play it again. But I mean, this is just still pictures. Most of the time. I'm sure if this is kind of weird, but I can't get over this one thing. I'm here, sitting right here. But I'm also over there. You know? Feeling a little conflicted about it? Definitely. So you could say you're of two minds about it. I'm not gonna dignify that with a laugh. Can't say I didn't try. But seriously, that's my grave. My body's right there. How weird is that? It is pretty weird, yeah. I don't feel quite as weird as I did when I was helping you bury it, though. Fair. Grave digging. All the manual labor of gardening with none of the rewards. You don't reckon I'm gonna grow into a beautiful tree? Buddy, you're already a wise old oak. Dead wise old oak. Struck by lightning, yeah. So you don't think anything's gonna grow out of me? Not unless you swallowed a bunch of seeds without me noticing. Afraid not. I don't really know what you're meant to do when you're about to pass on. I'm not prepared at all. Am I meant to be doing extra self-care or something? You're better at all that stuff than I am. Yeah, man. Get yourself a bath bomb, light some candles, charcoal face mask. The whole shebang. Is that supposed to sound appealing? Yep. God, I'm out of time. The fuck? What? Hello. It is 9:25 in the evening. I just heard the vacuum cleaner right outside my room. Okay. I made a bath bomb once, but it flattened a city block, and then some. Goodness, you are such a Helion. Sometimes things get dirty, but 9 p.m. is not normally the time we use our vacuum. Even worse if you could hear it on stream. God damn it, what? This microphone can get stuff on it that are like... This is through a door and walls and stuff. Jesus Christ. And on the other end of my room. PS4 doing the funny update. No, the PS4 is not doing anything. It's not on. Because I saw that attitude in you too. Born back in revolutionary. Oh no, you're born pioneer. When you put your mind to something, you never stop pursuing it until you get it done or kill yourself in the process. I try to avoid getting into the habit of assembling bombs then. Phew. Don't get me wrong though, the bath bomb in question was definitely meant to be the sort that smells nice. For real. It was just a little bit too fragrant in the end. Amazing. That aside, I think it's hard to mess up lighting some candles. Probably. You think I just carry scented candles with me whenever I go? Yes. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't have any. Damn it. Tell me you've got some downstairs at least? Yeah, but I'm not going back to get them. No, that's fine. After I'm gone, put a few around maybe to remember me. I'll light them all up for you, don't worry. Cafe's gonna stink of chamomile for weeks. That's perfect. What do you mean back down? Where the fuck are you right now? Now, I think it's about time. What do you think? This one's your call, as it should have been the whole time. Come on, let's go have a look at your work, eh? It's always about time. It's very minimalist. I like it. Hush you. Ah, the dramatic reveal. Very swish. Can't write history till it's happened. No, I suppose not. What's this written down here? Maddie, did you put poetry on my headstone? Give it a read. We see but dimly through the mists and vapors. Amid these earthly damps, what seem to us but sad funereal tapers, maybe heaven's distant lamps. That's comforting. Is it? Chin up, old friend. It's just another step. We just gotta keep on putting one foot in front of the other. No matter where we're going. You told me that back when I was a depressed mess who wandered in here looking to hide from everything. Throwing my own advice back at me, you monster. I guess I should stop dawdling anyhow. You do you. I feel guilty for swinging back and forth on you. being anxious, then eager, then scared, then brave. It's cool. I'm not gonna have a go at you for it. And you have every right to feel complex feelings about this specific, very scary thing. Thank you, but I can do this. I can't stand here making you wonder if I'm gonna do it or not. I need to do it now, or I'll never leave. Maddie, It's okay, mate. Take a deep breath. Take it in. Let it all out. Okay. Alright. Maddie. Yeah. You got this. We see each other again. There he goes. There he goes.
Necrobarista, Route 59 production.
That's it. That's the game. I can see now why people said that the base game is very quickly played through. That's nice. I'm a little... I don't know, a little... I wish there was a little more to it. Like, yes, we have a few more stories we can read. But... how does this work now? So Maddie was alive the entire time and she can just do magic, but there's people there that like wander around, but this is all in the real world still. It's just somewhere in Melbourne. I'm... Thank you for the hydrate tag. And pause to check just a sec. Oh, the game has a Japanese localization as well. Nice. Government-sponsored death novel. Ha.
Special thanks.
Will this game ever end you?
Thank you for playing. No worry. Thank you. Thank you for writing a nice game.
So what happens now? Aha! A few days later, 2 p.m. the terminal. Well done. Looks pretty good. It's got the right number of flags and everything. And 50% less homicidal impulses, I think. We're still aiming for 100% less, right? Sure, I guess. Well, it's progress, I suppose. Maddie? Yeah. Why is the ground outside on fire? Eh? Huh? Oh, brother. Hey, is that... You ready? Yeah. Wretched, isn't it? You know what this place needs, Paul? Tell him. What? I don't actually know what this place needs. I was hoping I'd have thought of something by now. You guys done? I guess. Great. You better pick up that cigarette, Kishan. Well, I will. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. There was a cute, tough guy or two had going there. Yeah? Very convincing. Enforcer is required to be imposing. It's in a job description. Oh no, don't fire me. He's not gonna fire you. He's too much of a big softie for that. I am not a softie. Sure you aren't. You're basically a giant teddy bear with a metal hat. Hey, hold on. You joined the council, Kishan? Huh? Yeah, actually. You're not gonna tell her now, are you? Huh? I thought we were gonna do a little build-up. Tell me what? Oh, Too much pressure! Tell me, you weasel. Don't be rude. Necromancer baristas are required to be mean to council staff. It's in the job description. He's done a good thing for you, you ought to know. Oh, well, in that case. What's up, bud? Come on! I can't handle the suspense. Well, last night we ended up in the archives. The council archives. Kishan went in with a particular goal and dragged me along. Hey, you didn't protest that much. Anyway, you might want to sit down for this. Okay. What? Is this a bad practical joke? No, he's telling the truth. Turns out there's some old bylaws that have loopholes and... Well, you're not gonna believe this, but the council allows payment of debt in a bunch of weird ways. Yes, really ought to fix that. And one of those ways is through the voluntary sacrifice of a soul. Wait, what? So I was able to sacrifice myself by joining the council and wipe your outstanding debts at the same... What? Well, that's silly. Huh? So you guys get to do as much human sacrifice as you like, but as soon as I'm doing it, I'm a menace and upsetting the natural. Maddie. Yes, Nettie dearest. Pull your head in. Ahem. You're right, I apologize. Kishan, you didn't do this just for me, did you? Are you sure you're okay with this? No, I promise this is fine. I wanted to stay. I was way too afraid to pass on, and I thought the council was interesting and I wanted to learn more about it. Ned might have talked me into it a little bit, but I absolutely promised that I didn't feel pressured into it. I made this decision on my own. I don't know what to say. Just consider it as me repaying the kindness I was shown when I walked in. I was really freaked out and you all helped me a lot with that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, we're gonna be okay? As long as you stay on the straight and narrow from here on, yes. Cool! Reckon you'll be able to do that, Maddie? Yeah, I'll do my best. No more illegal rituals. No more legal rituals. Promise. I'll stick to the legal stuff for as long as I can. I suppose that'll have to do. I understand it is somewhat of a stuck record in this regard. I'm trying to make my peace with that. Oh, look at you two making friends. Wholesome. Please just try and keep your head down. I will, yeah. Gonna be hard to cause too much trouble if you keep riding my supplies anyway. Sorry, just doing my job. Yeah, can't fault you for that. Anyhow, I'm afraid we've places to be. So soon? We only just got here. I told you we were only popping in for 5 minutes. We've got paperwork to do. Responsibilities. Catch you two later. Thanks again. I appreciate it a lot. You're welcome. Anytime. Why do they get funky portal? I want the funky portal. Look at it. There they go.
Mommy, why do they get funky portal?
I'm gonna have to scrub those off. We're gonna do it now? No, I'll do it later. Right now, though, everything's pretty calm, so I was thinking we might close up early. Uh-oh. Why would a cafe need a portal? Well, because it looks cool? Damn it, what is it now? Oh, you better clean that up, you little monster. Is he trying to tell us something? Hey, watch it! Maddie's got necromancer abilities, a portal wouldn't be outlandish. It's a plant. What's with the envelope? Smells nice. What's the card say? It's from Che. Huh? The time for regrets and apologies is long past. All we can do is look forward to the future with a smile on our faces. Don't obsess over what it could have been, please. I know you're gonna do great things and you don't need my help for that. This is my last gift to you, my apprentice. You kept saying that you needed this, so I went out and got it. I think that even though some people claim to be ready for what lies next, everyone wants a little more time. Che. Hey, are you okay? The bastard couldn't resist playing one last joke on us, could he? He got us a time? motherfucker. Okay. Seriously, a pun and I can't even give him a withering look in response. I mean, he was just quoting you, wasn't he? Yes, he was. Let's go hang this up. Yeah, the cafe needs more plants, right? I know it's just us two now, but I think he always be in some form, right? I think so, yeah. We can't get rid of him that easily. Alright, let's close up. What are we gonna do? I was thinking of heading to the hardware store. Everyone keeps saying we need more plants in here. Why stop at one? Why stop at one? There's never enough plants. I wish I could keep more plants at home. But we can't. Actually, where does continue take me? If I click continue now, because that was the game, that was the epilogue. I just got the achievement for the epilogue. Oh, it just... Okay. Thanks. I want to read all these. How do I unlock them? This is unfortunate. Wait, hold up. Time to get out the walkthrough. There's no walkthrough for this game, that's the problem. Can I do this? There's not a single fucking walkthrough out for this game. There's just one collection of where you can find all the memories. But there's like... There's no walkthrough telling you to do this and that, because technically this game just runs all on its own. Alrighty, hold up. We're gonna do a funny now. We're just gonna unlock everything and then we will read them. This one I already unlocked, right? No, I did not. Unlock. Because if we unlock them, then we can read them from the main menu, I think. Okie dokie. Oh, thinking... No, this one we have read already. This one was a main story one. No, it was not. Never mind. I just hope we have enough to actually unlock everything. Okay. Ah, another one. Time to hack into the game's code. No, I don't think we need to do that. I wouldn't even know. I'm not a hacker. Table with food next to the short end of the bar. Table with food next to the short... What? The short end? What's the short end of the bar? Oh, this one. That looks like fucking cheese. Maybe it's supposed to be bread? I have no clue. Hi! How are you? How's it hanging? How is it hanging? We just finished the main game. We just finished the main game. Now I'm just trying to unlock everything else that this game has to offer. How are you doing? Thank you! I remember what the game star reminds me of. Oh! What does it remind you of? Doing good, just lazing around. Oh, that's nice. Sometimes you just gotta be lazy, honestly. Sometimes that's all you got to do. Billiards table. Box at the end of the book. Oh, this one. 1, 2, 3. Do I have everything up here now? I think I do. A fucking Google experiment circa 2015 about a documentary contacting a decommissioned space probe. That is very specific. That is very... What is this one? Oh. Also, I was about to say like, oh, 5 years ago, but 2015 is already 6 years ago, and that's making me very uncomfortable. Oh. I forgot this to do this one. Ah. The font animations, I'm not responsible for my brain. Well, that's perfectly fine. Don't we all love our brains doing whatever they want? This one we... Yeah, this one we read. It is slightly spooky down here. Oh, hi. Boomer moment. Well, time passes really fast. I'm not a fan. Why is there... I do... Ah, there's one. A sound design... Actually, what the fuck? Look at the credits. You think it's made by the same people? Or something? I don't actually know if these people have anything else. Reminds me of all the people who were surprised that Shrek was 20 years old recently. It is kind of surprising though. Because I feel like... I mean, I've seen Shrek when I was a kid, yes, but if it came out 20 years ago... Wait, no, never mind. I was about to say like I was just 1 year old, but I'm turning 23 this year, so... Oh god... Why would you do this to my brain? Moment two. I'm turning 23 this year. Fuck. God damn it. I always think I'm still 20, but that's just not right. I'm not 20. Oh, I already unlocked this one. I am not 20 anymore. Fuck! Can't blame me for this. No. No, this is on myself. I am blaming myself. How many more memories are there? Oh god, okay. Still a few more. I may be the one who brought up 2040. We have to come to terms with it too. Shrek is based on a picture book that came out in 1990. What? How do I get out of the menu? There we go. You could always just say that you're forever 20 years old. Well... True, but why would I want to do that? Wait, how do I get to the... How do I get to the back room thing? Where... Like, Ashley's room. How do I get to Ashley's room? Hello? Ah, this way. I like being 22 because it was a nice number. Just, yes, 22. What else am I missing? I'm still missing some memories. I hate it. Hold up. Memories. I'm just gonna look at memories in order. Yes, please. I am missing. Lots of you say they're stuck at the same age. Yeah, it's most definitely a privacy thing, which is very valid. I'm missing all the other billiard thingies. Storage. And outside. Oh, I haven't been outside yet. Okay, never. Hold up. Okay, hold up. We're going to find them all! At some point. Hopefully. Teen trend... no? But I don't mind being open about my age. It's like, because I like... well, technically, I don't plan on playing any, like, suggestive stuff. I am playing games that are, like, 16 or 18 plus. So I think it's very good to know how old I am. So it's got a Google Plus share button. Yay! How many? Beth 3. Seller, knife on left side. Outside flyer by the entrance. Huh? What flyer? Oh, that flyer. Okay. Not convinced that Google Plus is real. Yeah. Outside left of bridge. Oh. I see. Outside. Oh god, I didn't even see that. How did people find all of these? At least you can say that we watch every social network night. That is true. Okay, hold up. What am I missing? I'm still missing the second billiards. That's in the storage room. I'm missing the third bath. That's it. That is in the cellar. What's after funeral? Under upper floor back room. Okay, I'm missing a few more in the upper floor back room. Imagine making a social network with exclusivity. Hehe. I only remember Google Plus and YouTube joining, and then everyone was forced to get a Google Plus account, and now your YouTube channels are all fucked. For some reason, because they're connected to Google Plus, that does not exist anymore. Also, hello, welcome to the stream. We finished the game. Just trying to collect all the extra stuff. Bottles on the ground. What? Bottles on the ground? Where the fuck? Wait. Upper floor back room, bottles on the ground by the table. Oh, these bottles, yeah. Imagine buying software and companies only to discontinue them after a few years. Yeah! We have money. We can do that. Because we're a big corporation. I need storage and the cellar. Storage. What's the storage room? What room do they mean by storage? Can only be in this one, right? Storage. Sign hanging on... What? Hanging on end of shelves near table. Oh, this one! Oh, god damn it. It's right there. I'm already wearing my glasses and I still cannot see. Whee! Okay, one more thingy. Cellar. Knife on left side. Knife on... There it is. Okay, cool. Did I unlock all of them? No! I'm still missing one. Wait, outside. Left of bridge? What? Did I not unlock that? I thought I unlocked it. Hello! Good evening, how are you? I clicked on that one already. What do you mean? Huh? No, this one. No. No, hold up. Eggs lying on tank. What eggs? Oh, this one. Ha! Just gonna resell them to other company. Okay, there we go. There we go, I unlocked all of them. Ah! Oh! Look at that!
Cute adult, slight cheek going. Wait. But wait, what is this? Hold up. I still have to actually walk where these things are to read them. I thought if I unlocked them, I thought I could read them all in one place. No! I hate it. Alright. Alright, are you all ready to hear me read a bunch of stuff? Or see what we're just looking? That's perfectly fine. Whew! Fisherman 1. Maddie was about to leave the counter when a old-looking man pushed the door open. He was hunched over and he walked with a bit of a limp, and even at this distance she could see the leathery texture of his skin, a testament to many years well lived. Maddie had been about to leave the counter to Jay, but there was something in the way the man walked that made her want to stay long enough to see if he had any special requests. She wasn't sure if she would like the man, and in fact she was fairly sure that there was a good chance that she wouldn't have much to say that the man, or much that she would be interested in hearing from him, but it was obvious that the man had paid his dues, and she felt that she owed him at least a few moments of her time. Even if he hadn't done anything in life worth of admiration, he at least had done enough to earn her respect. It was only when the man sat down and Maddie saw that his skin was cracked, but not wrinkled. His body had been aged, but it had been aged by the elements in the sun more than it had been aged by the passage of time. The slight limp in his step could have easily been a limp of a young man who had spent one day too many lifting loads that were 1 kilo too heavy for him. He took the seat directly in front of her. "You serve food here?" Apparently the man was more interested in finding out what was on offer than figuring out where he was. Maddie kept herself from visibly smirking. There was something she liked about guests like that, people whose only question what was on the tab. Maddie glanced at Che. He gave her a nod of assent. Yes, Che was willing to play the role of grill master today. Excuse me. "We do serve food," she said. The man squinted up at the menu above him. "My eyes don't work too well in this light," he said. "Got a paper menu?" Maddie reached under the counter and pulled out a menu that looked just as aged as the man sitting in front of her. Its scars were from coffee stains, not cuts, but as watched... What? But as watched the man hold the menu, there was something about the combination of the two of them that felt right to her. The man stared at the menu for a good deal longer than it must have taken him to read everything on it. He finally spoke after a long considered pause. "Do you suppose it would be a problem if I were to order something if I didn't intend to actually eat it?" "That's not the kind of thing that would offend me," said Maddie. Actually, it was exactly the kind of thing that would offend her. Yet there was something in the way that the man asked that made her feel like whatever reason he might have for not eating food he was served would be a good one, and she was half interested to find out what the man's reaction would be. "I'll have the grilled halibut," he said. "Ah, halibut." She understood. Many people enjoyed the concept of grilled fish more than they liked it in practice, and if this man knew himself well enough to be upfront and honest about that, she could respect that. "I can't promise that it's never been frozen. I hope that's not a problem." She said sure that it wouldn't be. "Sounds like my kind of fish," said the man. "The best halibut swim in cold water. Ain't a problem if that water happens to be in solid form after the halibut passes." She nodded to Che, who nodded back and headed back to the freezer. The man placed both of his hands on the counter and folded them. There was something serene in the way that the man sat there, with no inclination to glance around and inspect the cafe he was in, no nervous movement in his legs, no strained expression on his face to express that he was waiting for something to happen. He looked so calm that Maddie almost didn't want to disturb him, but she chafed at the idea that only squeaky wheels were deserving of grease. Some wheels were just too polite to ask. "Do you want a drink while you're waiting on that?" "I don't need a drink," said the man. "All right," said Maddie, picking up a whiskey bottle and placing it in his field of view, a reminder of what he was free to ask. "Why? Why? We haven't had typos this entire game. Why now?" Or like, words missing. The man squinted. "Is that Jack Daniels?" "Indeed it is." The man's shoulders rose a bit in what looked like barely a chuckle. "Got a fondness for that particular drink?" "It's just that we share the same name." "I'm Jack Daniel. No relation to the distiller. I had several friends who took it upon themselves to check. As you might imagine, I've seen a lot of those bottles over the years. It's the kind of gift that people enjoy giving you when you have a name like that." "Is it a gift that you enjoyed receiving?" "It's always a pleasure to receive a gift. It's nice to know that you have friends who care about you and think about you." "Is it a gift that you enjoyed consuming?" "I had a shelf in my flat where I collected them, waiting for other people to come so I'd have an excuse to open them." "Ah," said Maddie, picking up the bottle and placing it below the counter. "Sorry if I brought up a bad memory." He laughed. "Where's the bad memory? They're good to receive from friends and good to share with friends. It's a reminder of the people who I was close to and the things I did with them. No need to apologize for that." Maddie smiled. She was beginning to find that she liked Jack, and it seemed like Jack was the kind of person who liked her. If for no other reason than that he liked people and Maddie was people. She chuckled with him, and she enjoyed the chuckle so much that she almost missed Jack's momentary sideways glance, an unguarded moment when his mind seemed to be on something other than what he was talking about. It was only an instant, but it was a flick of pain that she'd learned to recognize over the years. There was something in him that was hurting, even as he remembered his friends. A sense of loss, a regret about something left unsaid. Maddie wasn't sure. Whatever it was none of her business, but she wanted it to be her business. Well, anything you want, just ask. Cup of water, warm glass of milk. Warm glass of milk? How old do you think I am? Maddie shrugged. 5 or 6, just the right age to drink a tall glass of milk before being shooed off to bed at 8 o'clock in the evening. I'm just barely older, said Jack. But if I do want a glass of milk, I guess I know who to ask. Wait, if I want to read all of these in order, then I have to walk there again. This is fine. So I guess these are just other people they have had come to the cafe once. The expression on Jack's face was expectant when Maddie came out of the kitchen carrying his plate. Expectant but not impatient. The expression fit his posture, sitting upright with hands folded and resting in front of him. Your Hollywood's ready. Jack's eyebrows raised when Maddie set the plate down in front of him. He closed his eyes and lowered his chin just a tad, allowing the scent of grilled fish to waft into his nostrils as he drank in the odor. As several moments passed, a smile crawled onto his face, and he grabbed a fork and began cutting the Hollywood up. He was several mouthfuls in when Maddie spoke up. I thought you said you weren't going to eat it. Couldn't help myself. Smelled too good not to give it a taste, and tasted too good to stop. I couldn't help but notice the hesitation. Jack held up the fork, which had a piece of the fish spared on it. You know, a fish like this, you never know what kind of memories it's going to bring up. Not all memories are good, but this fish, it tastes like adventure. Conquest. You fish much? You could say that, said Jack with a grin. I made it out on the water several days each year. Catch any big ones? Lots, I'm sure. But I'm more of a quantity over size kind of person. The most important weight is your tally at the end of the day. I'm not the patient kind of fisherman. Where'd you learn to be so patient if not from fishing? Fishing's the only time I'm not a patient man. Funny. I tend to hear the opposite from a lot of people. I take really long vacations. That's when you fish? That's when I don't fish. Ah, you're a fish tradesman. Better known as a fisherman. But yeah, you could have led with that, you know. Didn't I? Well, like I said, I don't get out on the water very often, and yet it's your profession. I think that would mean more days on the water. Such is life in Alaska. Fishing seasons get shorter every year. Ah, of course. Hollywood is seasonal. You can only catch them when they migrate, is that it? It's a kind of business that's only open a few days out of the year thanks to Mother Nature? Thanks to the government. In 1970, Hollywood season was 150 days long, then it got shortened to 100 days. You only work 100 days out of the year? No ma'am. 100-day Hollywood season was before my time. By the time I found myself on that side of the Pacific, they were down to fishing derbies. Actually, that's what got me out here. Derbies. All the fish you can catch for 24 hours. They're spaced out. Fishing season's just a few days a year now. Can you make a living doing that? You can catch a lot of fish in one day. That's why they had to shorten the season. It doesn't take very many skiffs on the water before you have a problem with overfishing. I was sold on the promise of working for several days out of the year and being able to come back home and live the good life the 360 days out of the year that I didn't have to work. He grinned in a way that suggested he wanted Maddie to prompt further. Did Alaska deliver on their promise?
I'm back. Welcome back.
Is America truly a land where the streets are paved with gold? No, it sure as fuck isn't. The streets aren't paved with gold, even though I'm told there's black gold to be found in Alaska. But yes, Alaska did deliver what was promised. I worked several derbies a year and I made enough to live pretty well. I just skipped the part where I was supposed to come home. What's the matter? Didn't want to sail back to Australia? Afraid of getting seasick? No, ma'am. Apparently was saying a joke. You met someone who convinced you to stay. A few someones. You spend some time working a skiff with someone that's the kind of bond you don't find easily, and it's not the kind of thing you give up easily. That kind of bond working only a few days out of the year? It's intense. It's like being in a line of duty. It's a little like going to war. War against the fishes? War against the sea. When it's all you can catch for 24 hours, you don't have time to be safe. When the day arrives, you're out on the water no matter the weather. And those skiffs are not large boats. For every 1,000 fishermen that go out, 997 come back. Firefighters have better odds than that. Soldiers have better odds than that. So yes, it is a bit like going to war. He looked down at the fish in front of him for a moment. There were sometimes I could swear I could smell death on the water. And every time you pulled up to shore with a boat full of fish and the same number of men you left with, it was a giant middle finger to death's face. He broke into a grin. In those moments, you never feel more at home. And when you have that kind of experience with someone, you don't fuck off to spend a year in Australia, you know? He tapped his chest. I'm one of them now. Jack looked around and Maddie realized it was the first moment she'd seen Jack really take notice of the space he was in. His eyes squinted as they scanned the shelves behind her and the people at the tables around him. But it ended up here. I think I always knew it would be here sooner or later. Well, yeah, I guess. Maybe this time he did not say fuck off to death. I'm guessing this is one time death claimed him. No, where is it? There it is. Jack waited until Maddie left the counter before motioning to Jay. Hey, can I get you something? Jack nodded. Can you get out a whiskey bottle and pour a glass? Jay glanced over his shoulder to verify that Maddie wasn't present. Any reason you couldn't ask her? Afraid of what it might do to me? I wouldn't want her to worry. Jay arched an eyebrow. Should I be worried? Jack shook his head. You don't strike me as a warrior. It's not about... I'm not intending to get drunk. I think if I smell it, that might be enough. You're going somewhere inside of here, said Jay, tapping the side of his head. Exactly. And you, well, I can tell from looking at you, you know what it's like to see a friend die. Jay smiled grimly. Am I that easy to read? No, but now I know it's true. Don't count her out, said Jay, referring to Maddie. She's seen more than you can read on her face. Yeah, but... Jack hemmed and hawed over his next words. Seeing something is not the same thing as having experienced it. You know what it means to be experienced in losing friends. Jay nodded. It's a feeling that I've grown well acquainted with over the years. Whoa! Jesus Christ! I remember the day I found myself preparing for a funeral and not even thinking too hard about what I was doing, almost going on autopilot until the moment I realized I've done so many of these. I can mentally check out at doing this. Followed by the feeling of nobody's ever supposed to feel like they're getting good at doing funerals, right? Followed by a feeling of, actually, we all leave this mortal coil at some point and someone has to be the last one in the group of friends to kick the bucket, and maybe doing well at longevity just means outlasting your friends. Jack's eyes narrowed. How old are you? Older than I look. Jack laughed, but it was a forced laugh. Damn, I wish I had that problem. I have the same thing, but in reverse. Jay got the bottle of Jack Daniels out from where Maddie had stowed it and set it in front of Jack before looking for a glass. Jack picked up the bottle and studied the label. You've walked with your hands before. Never walked a boat before. It's not bad work. Never boring. From the first day I spent out on the water, I knew it was my calling. I even had enough to retire over several years, but by that point I was so wedded to the idea of having my own boat that I kept saving. Did you ever become Captain Jack? One day. I was Captain Jack for one day. Jay held the glass in his hand, not setting it down in front of Jack. It was terrible shit luck. The weather was clear. The water wasn't even that choppy. I guess that's why he got careless. I guess that's why he thought he could try and fix the net when it stuck. At least I assume that's what he was trying to do when he fell overboard. Jay silently set the glass down on the counter bottom side up. You know what the worst part is? When I realized it had happened, I didn't think. The captain, the one man whose job it is to keep a level head, I didn't think about what I was doing. I just jumped overboard after him. Didn't grab a life ring or anything. Stupid. If you ever find yourself in that position when you jump overboard, all you're doing is making the problem twice as big. There's nothing I can imagine that compares to the sense of dread and regret that I felt in that moment as I felt myself sinking below the surface. Can you imagine that? Having that kind of thought? They say that when you're in intense physical pain, it's supposed to block out anything. You can't feel anger or sadness or regret or wistfulness when there's 1,000 needles stabbing you all over at once, which is exactly what it feels like when you jump into that freezing Alaskan surf. That's what you don't realize about cold until you're totally immersed in it. You don't feel cold, you feel pain, all over. And somehow in the midst of all that pain, it's still possible to think, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. Dumbass. When I leaped over, I guess I imagined myself swimming around in the water looking for him. And I actually did try opening my eyes. Big mistake. The Pacific Ocean, I'm not sure if you knew this, but it's salt water. And somehow that's even more painful than 1,000 of pins and needles stinging you all around, reminding you that the water's freezing and you're not supposed to be in it. You know what the crazy thing is? They managed to fish me out. Terrible pun, sorry. They found me. They threw me a line. Irony is I almost died of hypothermia down the deck. Being soaked fucking cold in a cold Arctic wind, you know hypothermia can kill you almost as fast as drowning can. I didn't even make it to Carl's funeral. Couldn't bear to look his girl in the eye. Nobody blamed me as captain. Carl should have known better than to do what he did. Did know better, but all I could think was, what if I hadn't jumped over? If they hadn't been busy pulling my stupid ass out of the water, would they have found Carl? And I knew that if I was thinking it, then she had to be thinking it too. They all had to be thinking it. I couldn't face that. All I could do was sit at home, and every time I walked to the bathroom, I passed a display full of these bottles. He tapped a bottle of whiskey on the counter. Hypothermia can kill you in 5 minutes. Drowning can kill you in 3. Drinking yourself to death, it takes longer than that, but not much longer. He looked up at Shay. I just wanted to smell it. Jack glanced at what little remained of the halibut Shay had grilled for him. The fish didn't do it for you, huh? Jack shook his head. Like I said, smelled too good. Shay dutifully uncorked the whiskey and poured out a finger. Jack held the glass to his nose and inhaled deeply. Yeah, this is the smell I was looking for. There it is. That's the smell that makes me feel sick to my stomach. He stood up. I think I'm ready to go.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Noor, next time you play a game that says, we play with necromancy, maybe imagine there will be death in there. God fucking damn it. Alright. Let's read Beth 1. That actually starts here. No, let's not do that. Let's read them in the order they show up. Which means let the machine. Crucible product reviews. Spirit-resistant quartz crucibles with self-sealing lids. Product description. Heat-resistant up to 1065 degrees Celsius. The new trade of either the games hit heavy or platform. Sometimes they are both. True! Self-sealing lids from airtight seals around the crucible's ground rim. Highly resistant to corruption and spiritual interference. Clear in and outer covering allow for easy spotting of cracks or imperfections. Quality suitable for mixing potions and filters. Average rating 3.5 stars out of 5. Product reviews 5/5. I love this. The covering, despite being quartz, has a textured appearance that gives it a silky smooth feel to it. Most crucibles feel sterile and cold, but this one makes for perfect beverage container when entering guests. Entertaining. Jesus Christ. Entertaining guests. 4/5. The previous crucible set I used was inherited from my grandmother who brought them over from New England. Unfortunately, 2 months at sea were not kind to her spiritware, and her crucibles were filled with tiny cracks and microfractures that allowed unsightly looking soot to build up, leaving them stained with hard grey lines everywhere, looking like they were about to crack apart at any moment. She used them for several decades to come, but every time I walked with her and watched them heat up, I was afraid they were constantly on the verge of shattering. Once she used to contain a lost wayward spirit for several days before finding a home for it, and I would get up at night to check the embers under the crucible, and it always unsettled me seeing how fragile the container was. Several times I found myself tempted to tip the crucible over just to see how easily it would shatter under my soft touch. Needless to say, this new set is much nicer. They are sterile and I can keep several of them in my bedroom without feeling unsettled by their presence. 2 of the crucibles in my set arrived with small chips in them, but I contacted the manufacturer and they replaced them at no charge. The replacements were express shipped and the process was quick and painless, so great customer service, and they offer replacements up to 1 year. For the price, they can't be beat. 4/5. Owned mine for 2 weeks and it didn't crack. Decent for the price. 5/5. Received mine in the mail this morning, can't wait to try it out. So glad to have finally found someone selling crucibles at a reasonable price. A brand name, one costs over $200, which is just outrageous. 1/5. Bought this several weeks ago since it was the cheapest crucible on the site, advertised as a spirit resistant. I'm working on a filter for my graduate thesis and purchased 100 of these for lab use. My plan was to monitor 100 different animal spirits over with different types of plant matter and compare how different biomaterials affected the Vigo over a 90-day period. The first day I set the first 5 with samples of mugwort, feverfew, ginger, ginseng, and golden seal. I placed them in the crucibles over low heat, 80 Celsius, and left them overnight, and over the next 2 days did the same with all of the remaining crucibles, finishing on a Friday and leaving the lab alone for the weekend. When I arrived back on Monday, I knew that something was wrong when I noticed a rain cloud hovering over the door. It's not uncommon for rain clouds to appear at any time of year, at any time of day in our part of the country, but it's quite an to find a rain cloud localized entirely within the hallway of your research lab. I braced for the worst, but I guess I should have braced harder. Nothing could have prepared me for the smell when I opened the door. I immediately felt my eyes watering and actually found myself choking. It smelled so bad. I slammed the door shut and went to the basement to grab one of the emergency respirators we keep down there. Unfortunately, the respirator did little to mask a terrible stench inside of the lab. I opened the first crucible and saw that it was filled with tar-like substance, and as I studied its inky black writhing form, I felt the air sucked out of me, almost like it was trying to drag me into the abyss with it. I threw it onto the floor, then the container shattered, splattering the floor with the tar-like substance, which began slowly crawling across the room. I grabbed the fire extinguisher from the wall and sprayed the tar until it was completely covered, and heard what sounded like a sputtering noise, followed by a long gasp and a scream that faded into oblivion. After poking at the fire extinguisher spray, whatever was underneath was clearly quenched. I took the
remaining crucibles and placed them in the oven and baked them at a temperature of 1600 degrees for several hours as I sat alone in the lab, contemplating the cruelty of existence and wondering what my academic advisor would have to say about my thesis project. After several hours of waiting, I opened the oven and checked the contents of the crucibles, revealing nothing but ash. Whatever it was that had been drawn by the spiritual emissions of my lab work, it was gone from my world, but the memory of the day will haunt me for all the remaining days of my life. 1 of 5. Do not buy this crucible for spirit-related applications! My wife is one of the product designers who worked on this item. The crucibles in this listing come from a manufacturer called Master Curie LLC. Back in 2013, they were some of the best hardware you could get for your money and earned a reputation among hobbyists as great value for anyone working on a budget. In 2016, they did a survey and found that fewer than 3% of buyers were actually using the crucibles for spirit-related applications and decided they could cut costs by removing their spirit-resistant properties. However, they found the products advertised with updated ad copy to reflect this didn't sell as well, so they continued using the old product description which advertises it as spirit-resistant, with the new product line, which is not spirit-resistant. I don't know how they are getting away with this. Apparently, the definition of what is actually spirit resistance are legally murky, and the number of people affected is small enough that they continue to sell well. Stay far away from this one and warn anyone you know who might buy an item like this that it does not work as advertised. 5-5. Nice color. I have... What the fuck is a crucible? Thank you for the 100 times. What the fuck is a crucible? Oh, okay. Interesting. And other things you want to mail. Okay, thank you for both the high return and the postage. Ah, wow. Postage check. Okay.
Okay, next. Ashley's journal. Ashley's journal.
I hope you guys are actually interested in these. I'm gonna read them all. It's going to kill my tongue, but that's what I do. Raw Battle Royale Robots Power Rankings. Windlass. When I first saw the name of the sport, I thought it was styled to be like a girl who could run control storms and run like a ninja, real lass of the wind. Or maybe a girl of the elements, someone with the ability to become the wind itself. If I were a windlass, I could vanish in an instant whenever Maddie appeared. She would look around and say, "Where's Ashley?" And I would be right there, but she wouldn't notice it because I would be one with the wind. Then when she left, I would fade back into the room like a ninja. This would only work outside and in the rooms that are really breezy, so I would probably set up fans in the workshop to make it really drafty. Then I looked it up online and learned that windlass is actually a fancy name for a winch used to pull anchors up, which at first made me think this board was lame. It works by hooking its arm on the enemy bots and pulling it up to flip them over. It never even tries to smash the other bot to bits or melt it with fire. But then I watched it in action and realized that flipping your enemy on the back to incapacitate them is the ultimate ninja move. Windlass moves like a master, spending the entire match trying to bait its opponent into exposing its weakness. And then, like a ninja master that knows how to jab at exactly the right pressure point on the back of the neck to make her enemy's head explode, Windlass grabs the enemy bot by the one part of it that happens to be sticking out at the wrong time and flips it onto its back. Note, most bots only have wheels or legs on the bottom, not on the top, so when you flip them over, they're totally helpless and the match is over. To avoid this happening, make sure to put wheels on top as well. When I make a bot like Windlass, I'm going to call it badass because that's what it is. I don't get how you get to determine as a living person. Do you take a bot? I don't understand it either. It's like, where exactly is this cafe located? It's like, is this, it's somewhere in Melbourne, but like, do people just stumble in there when they die? Do you have to be in Melbourne when you die? How does it work? It's supposed to be a back alley, but the alley needs to fucking see. Well... Battle Royale Robots Power Rankings.
Alpha Charlie Echo.
All of the commentators call this robot ace, probably because it's good. It seems biased for them to call one particular robot ace, but it's obvious how it got its name when it wins all the time. At first it looks like this bot doesn't have a weapon, it's just designed to be really fast and agile. Then you realize that its entire body is a weapon for ramming into unsuspecting people. This would be a great tactic if you got into a fight when you didn't have a weapon. You don't need a flamethrower or a buzzsaw, you just have a 150 kilogram body and can ram into people really fast.
This probably wouldn't work very well for me because I don't weigh 150 kg and I'm pretty small, but it is no problem since I usually carry things that can be used as weapons. Like, I could carry a crowbar and then if someone tried to attack me I could take the Ella and then jump the crowbar under the feet and then pull it up and use it to knock them off balance, even though I'm probably smaller than most people. I'm not sure why it's named Alpha Charlie Echo. I assumed it was a remake or made in the style of a boat called Alpha Charlie, but there aren't any other bots by that name and the team that made it are all rookies. And none of them are named Charlie. Maybe it's named after someone's dad or brother. The next robot will probably be called Beta Charlie Echo, maybe Alpha version 2 Charlie Echo, Final 2 Charlie Echo. Sexual battle bodies, but okay. Thank you, Ashley. I'm glad I get to find out more about funky robots.
Judgment.
Yeah, my tongue will be gone by the end of all of this, but this is fine. Jay sat in the corner of the cafe with a book in his lap. His eyes danced over the page for several moments, the words on the page illuminated by the candle that sat perched on the armrest of his chair. Then, after several moments passed, he turned the page. He hadn't actually internalized any of the text on the page, nor had he taken any of the text on the 50 preceding pages. Me! He was vaguely aware of the fact that the book kept on referring to a man named Henry, who Che presumed was the protagonist of the book he held in his lap, but beyond that knew little to nothing. Che didn't particularly mind this fact. In fact, if he started actually following the story that was told in the pages of his book, he would consider it a great failure. Che enjoyed sitting down with a book, and he enjoyed the platonic idea of reading, but when it came to telling stories, he found books to be a poor substitute for a person sitting next to him. He didn't pick up books when he wanted to be told a story. He picked up books when he wanted to be alone, to situate comfy chair and bask in candlelight. What? Okay. And bask in candlelight and sit silently in a meditative state. He turned another page. Hey, said a familiar voice interrupting him. I'm in the middle of a book, Ned. If you hadn't noticed. That was the book's secondary function. It deterred people who might see a man sitting alone and seize upon the opportunity to start a conversation when he was not in the mood for a conversation. Is it a good book? I was enjoying being alone with it. Yeah, you look really engrossed. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've got a favor to ask. Why is it always to ask a favor? Said Che, looking past Ned and speaking to no one in particular, even though there was no one but Ned near enough to hear him speak. Why is it never, hey Che, I just wanted to stop by to offer you a favor? I did that one time. You said you were busy, which I figured was your way of politely saying, please don't bother me with this kind of visit, so I stopped. Did you? I don't remember it. I'm sure you do remember it. It was from back before you started forgetting things. Sometime around, when did the war start? You're going to have to be a lot more specific. You know, the war with the soldiers and the guns. Ah, that war. I did narrow it down a bit, didn't I? I'm not that old. Wars were fought with guns even when I was a young man. Same for you. Did they? But it was the war with the... Ned trailed off. He raised a hand to his face and flicked his helmet, mimicking the unmistakable ping of an M1 what? World War II! Which one was Oh Lord! Why are we just suddenly dropping World fucking War II in this game? The War of the Nazis! That sounds about right. Anyway, I came to ask a favor. I hope the favor will spend a few minutes of your time having an inane conversation, but we already did that. My, but you're snippy today. What's gotten into you? Che held up the book. A good book is what's gotten into me. Sorry. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't urgent. I'm in need of an interpreter. You speak Cantonese, right? Yes. Great. Can I steal you for a few hours? Not if it's to be an interpreter. Why not? You speak Cantonese and you seem fluent enough in English, so why would you say no to specifically to translating? Because it's hard as fuck, and being an interpreter gets both on your nerves and also is really fucking hard to do. Ned knows the grand ping. Being an interpreter is not as simple as being bilingual, Ned, isn't it? I figured you hear things in one language and say them in another. Seems simple to me. Are you literate? A bit. Can you write a work of great literature? Nope. Well, there you go. There's more to translating than being bilingual. Oh, come on. I'm in a pinch. I'm not asking you to be a great interpreter. Just an adequate one. There's lots of bilingual people around. I'm sure you know other places to ask. Yeah, but, you know, I know you're not the kind of person to spill secrets. And it's the kind of conversation that I just want to be between me and one other person, you know? Great. Sounds like you need a professional interpreter.
A heater great at facilitating those kinds of interactions. Come on. What can a professional interpreter do that you can't? A lot of things. But for one, a professional interpreter is someone you can count on to allow you to use their mouth to say incredibly stupid things without letting you or your counterparty know just how stupid they find the interaction. Funny that. I always figured that's the kind of thing you'd be good at. Because I'm so good at holding my tongue? Yes. I've tried before, said Shay, kicking up his feet. Being an interpreter plays well if you find yourself working for the right people, and it leaves your hands a lot less callous than some of the work I found myself doing instead. But you notice my hands have calluses. Turns out holding your tongue is oftentimes harder than digging holes. Come on, you know how to be a diplomat. Fuck off. There, that was me being undiplomatic. Now would you kindly find another solution to your problem, one that doesn't involve me performing a task that I've told you at least twice now that I'm not going to do? Ned started to say something, but stopped just short of making an utterance and backed off. Hey, Maddie! No! I haven't even asked you for anything yet. I know, I thought I would save you the time. Ned sighed. What is it with you people? Maddie turned toward Ned and glowered at him. You people? Ned raised his hands defensively. I didn't mean... Look, I just meant that you two, you're birds of a feather in quite a few ways. Maddie stared at him and Ned contemplated whether there was any way for him to make a statement grouping Maddie and Shay together without making himself look worse than he already did. He sighed in frustration. You know what your problem is? Yes, I know him quite well. And he's standing right in front of me. Ooh! Ouch! Ouch, 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 ouch. Ned leaned with his back against the counter, resting both his elbows on the surface behind him. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lean on my counter. Your counter. Yes, it is my counter. So please don't lean on it. Ned laughed. People lean on this counter all the time. Customers lean on this counter. You're not a customer. What if I ask for a drink? Then am I a customer? We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone, so no. Simply requesting a drink would not make you a customer. A man with long, thin arms approached the counter. Can I get 2 lattes, 1 vanilla and 1 with soy milk? You got it. We have the right out for you. Thanks, said the thin man, who took a seat at the table near the entrance. Maddie preoccupied herself with making the drink. Hey, Che! Che looked up. Do you ever feel like what you all do here is insignificant? Running the terminal? Making drinks. You know, there's more to life than creature comforts. I enjoy coffee as much as the next guy, but it's not good to get too pampered. I'm not sure that enjoying a nice drink is what I call pampering. But if I had my choice between a pampered life and an unpampered one, I'd definitely pick the former. I say that as someone who'd known what it's like to lead an unpampered life. Suppose so. I just think that overindulging in creature comforts build the downfall of civilization. Not that I have a problem with that. Civilization is pretty overrated as it is. I don't think that lattes are fueling a collapse of society. One might even say that the ability to walk into a cafe, ask for a drink, and have it made to order is civilization. You know what it's like to live in a world without air conditioning? So do I, shouted Maddie from across the room. Wasn't talking to you. And no, living in an apartment with no AC is not the same as living in a world without air conditioning, because when you lay in bed at night, you know at any time you could go in and buy a window unit. How many countries in the world are there where it is, I guess, normal to have an AC unit in your home? Because it's definitely not normal in Germany. Not sure what your point is? Of course you don't. Neither did the Romans. That didn't stop them from getting invaded. I know you're not that old. Don't have to be old when you've got books. And these books had a chapter about how the Romans were caught completely unaware in air-conditioned cafes while sipping lattes as the invaders came to destroy their way of life. Precisely. They were sitting indoors with the windows closed and couldn't hear the barbarians streaming into their lands. One moment you're sitting down in a recliner, the next you've got a spear through your chest. Che raised his eyebrows in a way that gave the impression of someone who had just rolled his eyes without wanting to invest the effort of having to roll his eyes. I think I'll take the recliner, and when I wind up with a spear in my chest, you can come and laugh at me. Sure. Like I said, I've got no dog in this fight. I'm not offering advice, just judgment. You can go on doing whatever you want, and I'll keep thinking less of you for it. Che glared at that. Not that I judge you. You know what it's like to have a hard life. I can tell from the calluses on your hands. You don't get those by accident. Ned lowered his voice and glanced at Maddie. But you and I both know that kids these days... Che grabbed Ned by the scruff of the neck and jerked him violently before softly speaking directly into his ear. Don't ever try and judge her, Ned. You don't know the first thing about what she's been through. Che let go of Ned's collar, but not before giving him a violent tug. Fine, I get it, you're protective. But not everyone here is like your little protege. Like Mr. Scrawny over there. He jerked his thumb in the direction of the thin-armed man who was awaiting his lattes. Same thing goes for him. What do you know about what he's been through? Who are you to judge? Ned raised his hands defensively. I'm just saying times aren't what they used to be. You're right, times aren't what they used to be. And do you know what I've learned from being around for quite a while? It doesn't get easier. I get stronger, but life doesn't easier. So kindly fuck off with any for your kids these days bullshit. Sheesh. You know, as old souls go, you're no fun to commiserate with. Sorry to be a disappointment. He stood up and started to walk away. It's odd, said Ned, not looking up. She stopped and turned to him. What is? To see you give so much of a fuck. I thought you had no fucks left to give. I've fucks left to give, but they're not as plentiful as they used to be. So I have to save them for the things I care a lot about. I was just bullshitting, you know. Taking the piss out of everyone is supposed to be a recreational pastime. I was just working with the material in front of me. You were right about one thing. About our society being overrun with invaders who destroy our way of life. That's quite an about face. Che placed an arm around Ned and pointed at Maddie. Invader. He pointed at two 20-somethings chilling in the corner. Invaders. He pointed at an ashling scuttling across the floor. Tools of the invaders. The world used to belong to the likes of you and me, and now it doesn't. Every generation, a new generation comes, bringing their new ways with them, invading our world. Folks like you and I were the ones who have to worry about being caught unawares, because pretty soon the world is going to belong to people like them. In fact, I think that they may have already come and we just haven't realized it yet. Cripes. You make it sound so apocalyptic. Funny. I thought I was being optimistic. No, you colonized countries. Away! I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I have no clue what exactly these stories are trying to tell me. Like, some of them are stories, some are just recipes. Authentic Australian lamingtons. Ingredients: 200 gram butter, 1 cup queso sugar, 1 milliliter vanilla extract. What? 5. Okay. 3 Malafol eggs, 500 gram self-raising flour sifted, 1/2 cup milk, 2 cups shredded coconut, icing, 4 tablespoons sugar mixed in the softened water, 1/4 cup cocoa powder, 100 gram butter, 1/2 cup water. You will also need convection oven, lamington pan 3 cm deep, 20 times 30 cm base, baking paper, an electric mixer, a lamington. Possible substitutions: chicken eggs can be used in place of Malafol eggs. If electricity is not available, whale oil mixers can be used instead. It is strongly hypothesized that a homunculus made with lamington DNA could be used in lieu of an actual lamington, but no confirmed tests have been confirmed, due to the lack of success in producing actual homunculi, especially homunculi capable of baking. Instructions: 1. Use lamington pan, line with baking paper. Using electric mixer, beat butter, vanilla and sugar until airy. Add eggs to mixture. Have your lamington stir flour into mixture and add milk. Have lamington pour into pan and smooth. At this point, you may dismiss your lamington, they are no longer needed. 3. Bake for 30 minutes. 4. Make icing. Boil water and combine ingredients. Beat until smooth. 5. Apply icing coating 1 mm thick and sprinkle coconut. Repeat until all icing and coconut have been used. Note that it is not necessary to have a lamington perform this step. Tips for procuring a lamington. 1. Any recently departed lamington who comes into contact with a 40 to 6 mixture of vanilla and coconut will begin to glow red. Note that a 30 to 70 vanilla coconut mixture will cause them to glow green. The 30-70 mixture can be used in case of potential lamingtons who have particularly flushed cheeks or are otherwise difficult to identify by a red glow, but this is generally discouraged as the effects can persist for several hours and can often be unsettling to guests. 2. Only around 20% of people who claim to be lamingtons have actual lamington ancestry, hence the need to test potential candidates. Be particularly skeptical of anyone who claims to be directly descended from either Lord or Lady Lamington. Lamington pretenders uniformly claim to be descended from a former lord, leading to the overwhelming of these claims being false positives. 3. Most Lamingtons were agricultural workers. Anyone claiming to be descended from a farmer of Lamington is more likely to be credible, but should still be tested to verify his authenticity. 4. Do not bother testing anyone to be claiming to be descended from the 3rd Baron of Leamington as Victor Alexander Brisbane William Cochrane Bale Dial childless. Gluten-free option. Having Leamington steer self-raising flour into the mixture is critical to the synthesis process and will not work with a non-gluten alternative. TFV no GF option. What the fuck is this? Are we winning? I'm not sure. What the fuck is a Leamington? Leamington. Aww. That looks nice. Was this supposed to be fortune? I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. What's this one? Government sponsored TFW Windows. Highlighted passage from Thinking About Alchemy the Wrong Way by Sophie Cordova. Most study of alchemy throughout history can be categorized as either practical alchemy, that is alchemy which aims to understand the world only as well as is needed to fulfill certain utilitarian ends, and philosophical alchemy, that is alchemy which aims to come to a more complete understanding of the world as it is, without prejudice for which portions of alchemical understanding can be wielded to utilitarian ends. In the modern alchemy movement, there has been a tendency within literature to place a greater emphasis on philosophical alchemy, based on the premise that coming to a more complete and correct understanding of the universe is the best way for us to discover new practical methods for the physical use of alchemy. Much of this is based on the modern scientific movement in the post-Enlightenment area. Much like our understanding of theoretical physics gives us more accurate models of physical reality which have real applications in engineering, having a better understanding of alchemy on a philosophical level informs our practice of alchemy. However, it may be that this focus on alchemy, which places an emphasis on being correct rather than useful, has thrown out the baby with the bathwater. Admittedly, my position here is hardly biased. The fact that practical studies of alchemy have largely been chased underground is the reason that the tome you are reading is self-published rather than distributed through more official channels. For example, underappreciated in the development of modern alchemical practices is the use of a 5-element model. Early pre-Aristotelian alchemical models were based on an understanding of 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Later, Aristotelian alchemical models separated elements into 4 categories of earth, water, air, and fire. While this model may be more accurate and reflect an evolution of our understanding of alchemy, it seems to sacrifice the more practical separation of elements in a way that better allows us to understand less tangible things. While wood is not an element strictly speaking, it helps for us to think of it as such. After all, juxtaposing wood against elements such as metal and fire makes it apparent that wood possesses certain soul-like qualities that other elements lack, which might prompt us to question what it is about wood that seems to make it behave like a super element with practical uses beyond the conventional. There's a great irony in the fact that while these kinds of questions eventually lead us to discard the 5-element model, the new model no longer allows for the existence in this sort of question to exist in academic literature. This book serves as my guide to asking the wrong questions to arrive at the wrong answers that nonetheless seem to work. It is a book for troublemakers and rule breakers. Indeed, the fact that you hold this book in your hands right now is probably evidence that you have broken several rules to acquire it. That, or you are a rule enforcer tasked with destroying my work, for who for some reason has decided to take the time to read it. Perhaps you are reading my work in search of identifying information which might lead you to my location, or you are reading to gain a better understanding of someone whom you consider to be an enemy. Perhaps after reading my work you will realize that my ideas are not so dangerous as you've been led to believe, or perhaps you will realize that they're exactly as dangerous as you've been told. Okay, thank you. Thank you. This one. Oh, wow, why my neck do that? Ow. Ashley stepped behind the counter and winced as the floor creaked under her feet. Maddie was nowhere to be seen, but Maddie did possess a remarkably sharp sense of hearing. Luckily, the cafe was empty as Ashley tiptoed to the case where Maddie kept the baked goods. Ashley lifted the glass lid off the case and closed her eyes as the scent of yesterday's lamingtons wafted up and overwhelmed her. Ashley had spent most of her life convinced that she didn't like coconuts, but that had changed the day that Shay introduced her to lamingtons. To be fair, Ashley still wasn't sure that she actually liked coconut. Chocolate frosting could make anything taste good, but she couldn't deny the cake's irresistible allure. Ashley lifted a lamington from the case and gently set the lid back down. She raised the lamington to her lips and opened her mouth to take a bite. Ashley. In a moment of panic, Ashley shoved the pastry into her mouth and sealed her lips. Her mouth was quickly overwhelmed by the pastry's thick frosting covering, and she did her best to choke it down before turning to face Maddie. Said Ashley, hoping that her cheeks didn't betray what was inside. Ah, good, you're here. It was a bad sign anytime Maddie expressed pleasure at seeing Ashley. Normally, Maddie wavered between being annoyed by Ashley's presence and being indifferently tolerant of her. Anytime Maddie was happy to see Ashley, it meant work. I need you to deliver something to Che for me, said Maddie, turning to the counter to pick up a small bottle of something. As Maddie turned her attention to the bottle, Ashley took advantage of her momentary distraction to gulp down the remainder of the pastry. No time to chew, but her teeth wouldn't have done much good with the thick frosting. You're not busy, are you? Said Maddie. Ashley shook her head. No. The pastry was no longer inside her mouth to create a conspicuous bulk of cheeks, but opening her mouth would reveal the thick chocolate frosting that was still probably present on her teeth, so she kept her lips sealed. Good, said Maddie. He's upstairs. Get this to him ASAP. She handed the bottle to Ashley, and Ashley found herself surprised by how light the bottle was. Looking down, she could see that the bottle had thin walls. Within those thin walls, it contained some clear liquid, and its seal was held in place with a metal clamp, hermetically sealed. Ashley turned toward the stairs, holding the neck of the bottle in one hand, and let out a sigh. One last thing. Ashley swallowed her sigh with a gulp and closed her mouth before facing Maddie's lips tightly shut. Be careful not to drop it. Thousands could die if you spill any of it. In any other situation, Ashley would have asked Maddie a probing question to figure out what was in a bottle or get some idea of the significance of the task that had been assigned to her. Significant enough that thousands of lives held in the balance, but apparently not important enough for Maddie to do it herself. But Ashley's lips remained sealed, and she merely nodded and turned around. Lamingtons were not meant to be consumed in a single bite, especially by mouths as small as Ashley's, and the thickness of the frosting that lingered in her mouth and throat made her desperate to ask for some kind of drink, but she dared not ask for one. Ashley looked down at the bottle, unsure of the best way to carry it. The bottle was slightly too large for her to hold in just one hand, and grasping it in front of her with the two hands felt awkward. The bottle wasn't heavy, but Ashley's confidence in her ability to carry the bottle without dropping it was less than perfect. Should she cradle it under her arm protectively? No, that seemed like it put her at greater risk of fumbling the bottle. The crook of her elbow wasn't as dexterous as her fingertips. She settled for carrying the bottle with one hand placed under the bottom to hold the weight, and the other hand wrapped around the neck to steady it. Ashley walked slowly with the bottle as she ascended the stairs. Maddie hadn't told her that the liquid was volatile and the bottle was hermetically sealed, so there was zero chance of anything spilling out, but that didn't change the sense of trepidation Ashley felt. Armed with the knowledge that there were potentially thousands of lives at stake, she cringed every time she saw the liquid sloshing inside the bottle, leaping up and lapping at the edge of the seal. As she realized her arms were shaking and pressed the bottle against her chest, hoping to steady it. As Ashley's hand shook nervously with the bottle against her chest, she wondered if the large amount of sugar she had just forced down her throat had something to do with the shaking. It was more likely that the shaking was the result of being told that thousands of lives could be lost if she dropped the bottle. Still, the lingering taste of the pastry in her mouth didn't help. Ashley silently lamented the fact that she had been forced to consume the lamington so abruptly. Lamingtons were a treat to be savored, not shoved into one's mouth in a moment of panic. She hadn't even had the chance to properly enjoy it. It was hard to simultaneously feel the pleasure of a tasty treat and the panic of being caught. Whatever the outcome of this errand, she had wasted a wonderful pastry. Several agonizing minutes later, Ashley arrived at the top of the stairs and spotted Che standing at the handrail. As she walked up, Che turned to face her and she presented him with the bottle. Ashley cleared her throat of any lingering stickiness before speaking. Mandy said you needed this. Ah, good. I was running low. Ashley gasped with relief as Che took the bottle from her and started taking deep labored breaths, suddenly becoming aware of how high her heart rate was. Che popped open the seal on the bottle and splashed some of it onto a rag. Several drops dripped on the floor and Ashley let out a terrified squeak. Something wrong? Maddie said that thousands of lives could be destroyed by what's in that bottle. Well, that's the idea, said Che as he folded the rag and ran it along the railing that overlooked the cafe's ground level. This is supposed to kill 99.9% of all bacteria. That still leaves hundreds of bacteria alive, but I try not to think too hard about that part. Ashley's jaw dropped. It's disinfectant? Yeah. Why, did Maddie not tell you? Ashley's shoulders slumped in a mix of relief and exasperation. She only told me that it could kill thousands. And you didn't ask what she meant by that? No. I was preoccupied. Huh. He turned his attention back to the railing, inspecting it for a moment before continuing to wipe it. Ashley turned to head backstairs. By the way, Ashley. Ashley turned to face Che. He reached out and placed a finger on his shirt, wiping up a bit of frosting. He raised it to his finger and smelled it. Chocolate, he said. Yes. One of Maddie's lamingtons? Yes. Che nodded and licked the frosting off his finger. Go downstairs and bring one up for me too, will you?
It's disinfectant! Are you kidding me?
It's disinfectant. Could kill thousands. Okay.
Oh my fucking god, how many? I'm gonna die. Brett took a sip from his beer. It was non-alcoholic, but there was something about the taste that put him in a perfect state of ease and alertness. Maybe it was the placebo effect, maybe it was the fact that his non-alcoholic beer was still 0.5% ABV and he was on his 5th bottle, maybe it was the dry aftertaste that kept him frosty. Brett shakes the thoughts from his head as he leaned over the table and lined up his next shot. He had the problematic 9 ball in the upper right corner. He had a low percentage shot on it if he elected to bank it in, but he had 2 other stripes in the lower left to set it up. If he had an audience, he'd go for the bank shot for sure. While Brad was a competitive player, a big part of what he liked about competition was the chance to shine. No! And you know what the worst thing is? The billiard story is 3 parts long. But today there was no one to impress, no audience for his flashy low percentage shots. He took the shots on the 11 and 12, and 3 shots later the 9 was sunk with an easy shot on the 8 ball to seal the deal. Brad scanned the table. 4 solids remained, a dismal performance on his part. Or a stellar performance on the part of the Stripes player, depending on how you looked at it. That was the problem with playing against yourself. You always won, but you always lost too. Every crowning victory was also a crushing defeat, and every defensive shot was an attempt to screw yourself. Brad chucked the remainder of his beer and added the glass bottle to his collection of empties, which now stood 5 bottles strong. He took a moment to survey the room. It was empty. His table was the only one of the 4 that was in use. That didn't come as any surprise to Brad. It was early in the evening, and he had grown accustomed to spending time alone in this room, knowing instinctively when he could come here to be alone and what hours the other sharks showed up. Brad grabbed the triangle. It was looped around his collection of beer bottles and started putting the balls in order for another round. Someone came up the stairs and Brad looked up briefly, long enough to see a woman who he'd recognized as the one who had served in the beers that had kept him company for the past hour or 2. Each time he'd gone downstairs to order another beer, she had a serious, almost stern expression, but over the past several visits to the bar, he'd come to like her presence. He was used to servers who attempted to flatter him, and yet this woman didn't so much as smile at him. But there was something in the way she declined to comment on his choice of non-alcoholic beer that made her seem like one of the least judgmental servers he'd ever met, and somehow that made him feel more welcome than the warmest smile a server could offer. Several steps behind the woman, he saw an older-looking man. The old man stepped in front of one of the tables, the one opposite Brad's, and began chalking up his cue. The barista set the wooden box of balls on a table in front of him, and she began placing a triangle on a table before the old man waved her away. Brad directed his attention to the old man. Brad usually offered people a game when they came up, but the old man seemed like he was prepared to keep to himself, so Brad said nothing and tried to focus on his own table. He set up to break, and the old man coughed right in the middle of Brad's stroke. He hit the cue balls just a fraction of a degree off center, and it bounced off the rack into one of the side pockets as the rest of the balls jostled around the table. Stink. Brad didn't swear when playing pool. The habit had been ground out of him early on when he started playing competitively in youth league. His earliest experience with competitive billiards had been in an environment that forbade obscenities and issued foul penalties every time he let out an involuntary shit or fuck, so it had to find cleaner substitute. The swears he had grown up with were still part of his everyday vocabulary, but leaning over the pool table was enough to put him in the competition mindset. Brad turned around and looked at the man, wondering if he had heard Brad. If the man had heard, he certainly didn't show it. The cheeser was lined up and making several practice strokes, getting ready to break his own table. Brad turned back to his own table and tried to divorce his attention from the old man. Still, it was impossible to avoid hearing the clacking of balls on the other table, and he found himself subconsciously counting the knocks every time he heard a cue ball strike. Break, came the sound from the old man's table. 2, 3, 4. Brad put down his break cue and picked up the leather-tipped cue that was leaning against the table. 5, 6. Brad shocked his cue, trying to avoid the tilt from his bad break. 7, 8. Brad lined up to shoot and realized that the old man was clearing his table, fishing the balls out of the pockets and collecting them in a triangle. Brad did a mental double-take. Had the old man sunk the 8 ball of the 8 strikes, including break? Brad continued playing his own table, but kept an eye on the old man this time, as best as he could without looking like he was staring. It happened again. Break. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A perfect clean sweep. As the old man began clearing the table, Brad walked over and piped up. "Excuse me," he said, "but I couldn't help but notice you just hit 2 perfect games." "What's that?" The old man turned to Brad, squinting at him. Brad repeated himself a bit louder this time. "I was just complimenting you on 2 perfect games. Impressive stuff." The old man heaved his shoulders in a gesture that looked more like a sigh than a struggle. "Sometimes you get a bit of luck on your side," said the man. Brad found himself annoyed by the old man's inability to accept the compliment. A kind of humility had always struck him as somewhat dishonest. "Still, you won't see a novice hit 2 consecutive perfect games. You need some amount of skill to pot every ball like that."
The old man offered another ineffectual shrug. Do you want to play a game? Brett gestured to his own table, which was already set up. Most of the people who come around here tend to be novices. I've been kind of itching for a bit of competition. Brett paused and the old man said nothing. Of course, if you'd prefer to play your own table, I don't mean to intrude. What is with all the... I don't know what they're called in English right now. We can play, said the old man. Though if I can shoot perfect the third time, you won't get to. If you could pull that off, I'd be impressed. The old man racked the balls and after a bit of jostling, stepped away from the table to let Brad break. Brad leaned over the table and took several practice strokes before finally connecting with the cue ball. The break was weaker than he'd expected, but he managed to sink one ball, which was enough to start a spree. Well, you know, the Gänsefüßchen. Still, the break was barely legal. Brad looked at the table with a bit of annoyance and realized that he hadn't bothered to check to see that the rack was frozen before he broke. I don't know enough about billiard to understand what all of this means. It's probably the old man's failing eyesight, racking the balls by feel rather than sight sometimes made it possible to miss small gaps between the balls. Brad lined up his next shot, which was a straight into the middle pocket. He briefly visualized the trajectory of the cue ball in his mind. It would knock the sixth ball in easily and then bounce toward the front of the table. Brad wasn't confident of where exactly the ball would stop, but he was confident that regardless of its position, he'd be able to do something with it. He took the shot and the sixth ball went in. Solids. After the cue ball settled, found himself with no good options. Brad smiled. Most other players in the situation might be cringing, but Brad saw this as a challenge. Making something out of nothing was his specialty, and after several moments of eyeing different angles, he settled on a shot toward one of the bottom pockets. Yeah, maybe they did that. It's a little weird. One of the striped balls was in the way, so Brad hit the cue ball several degrees to the side, giving it just enough spin to curve its trajectory around the striped ball. It hit the solid 3 ball at just the right angle, and the shot was made. Brad looked at the old man, hoping for some kind of reaction. The old man's mouth remained a flat line, but Brad could see his eyebrows arc. Even if the reaction was subtle, Brad could tell he made an impression. If anything, the lack of obvious expression on the old man's face struck him as a deliberate attempt to not show a reaction, which made the fact that he managed to get a slight rise out of the old man feel like an even sweeter victory. Brad made his next shot quickly. He had an easy straight-in shot on the 2 ball, and he made it without thinking much about where the cue ball would land, convincing himself there was a problem that future Brad would have to deal with. The 2 ball entered its pocket without putting up much of a fight, and several seconds later, present Brad found himself scolding past Brad for putting him in such a foul position. He was corner hooked, with the cue ball trapped in a nook next to the corner pocket. The only angles available to Brad existed in a 60-degree arc, a drastically tighter window than his usual 360-degree array of options. Still, after surveying his limited options, he breathed a sigh of relief as a relatively straightforward bank shot presented itself. It was an awkward angle, but Brad was sure that he could coax the 3 ball into the opposite corner pocket. He took the shot and watched as the 3 ball complied, helpfully rolling into the pocket he had designated. I'm losing my mind. Why the fuck is this billiard thing almost as long as like one full chapter of the other things? Unfortunately, the cue ball went with it, ending Brad's turn and placing a ball in the old man's possession. Ah, stink. The old man fished the cue ball out of its pocket, and Brad could swear he saw the man wink at him before placing the cue ball down, lining up a simple shot on a side pocket. He took the shot and the 9 went in, then the 11 and the 12. As Brad observed each shot, he found himself taking it for granted that the striped ball would enter its designated pocket and instead focus on the cue ball. Somehow, the cue ball always wound up in a position that represented the oldster with the ideal chip shot. Ball after ball fell off the bat until finally only the black 8 ball and Brad's solid color balls remained. Fortunately for Brad, the 8 ball and the cue ball were at the opposite sides of the table, with several of Brad's striped balls in between. The cue ball had always seemed to wind up in a position where it offered a shot to one of the Jesus balls, and Brad had found himself wondering whether it was careful planning on the old man's part or just a streak of good luck. The fact that the man seemed to be without any easy options made it seem like perhaps he wasn't the amazing planner that Brad had originally made him out to be, and at last the old man's luck had run out at the moment he needed it most. The old man wore a contemplative expression as he walked around the table, inspecting different angles. He lined up several different shots, but didn't commit to any of them. As the old man searched for a good shot, Brad mentally calculated what he would do if he were the one trapped in the situation. If he ricocheted the cue ball off of 2 of the solids, he could hit the 8 ball at the right angle. Or if he put enough spin on the cue ball to curve it around the stripes, he could probably get the 8 ball in without having to bank it. Still, those were options that required a lot of dexterity and control that the old man probably lacked. It wasn't an issue of the man's age. Even a young pool player with steady hands would have trouble making one of those shots. The old man eventually gave up and settled for making a defensive shot that put the cue ball behind the 8-ball. Now the tables were turned. Brett was the one cut off from his balls by a problematic 8-ball. Brett smiled. He lived for shots like this. He lined up the shot and visualized the trajectory of the ball had, but there was really no way for him to perfectly predict how things would go. He just knew, as if by instinct, that if he hit the 8-ball at this angle, good things would happen. Brett took the shot. The cue ball hit the 8-ball, and the 8-ball hit the 1-ball, and the 1-ball hit the 7-ball, bouncing it against the front of the table and back into one of the side pockets. Brett smiled. Things couldn't have gone better even if he had planned them, though in a way he was sure that his subconscious mind had been expecting things to work out like this. Instinct and muscle memory doing what his calculating mind couldn't. Now that the table was conveniently free of striped balls, Brett had no trouble sinking the remaining consecutive shots he needed to close out the game. As Brett lined up the final shot, The The 8-ball, Brett studied the old man looking for some kind of reaction. If the old one was responding, he couldn't tell. Brett closed his eyes as he completed the final stroke as he always did. Brett wasn't really religious. He had stopped going to church with his mom when he was 12 years old, but someone felt right to complete the game with his eyes closed, as if he were lifting up some prayer and leaving the result of the game to God. Damn, said the old man as the 8-ball fell into its pocket. Brett flinched for a moment. Nothing about the man's behavior up to that point had indicated he was impressed with Brett's abilities, but for some reason he had been expecting a bit of praise from the man for winning the game. Perhaps a damn was all that he was prepared to offer. Excuse me. I don't think we bothered to exchange names. I'm Brett. Thomas. The old man extended a hand. I've got to say, you're quite a player. I take it you're not from around here? No, said the man. I grew up in Brisbane, retired in Sydney. I'm just passing through. The young man nodded. I figured. I actually grew up in this neighborhood. I played on tables just like these way back when I was a kid, so I know most of the people who are on the local competitive circuit. I guess someone like you would have to play competitively, huh? You don't pick up skills like that in a tiny pond. You'd be surprised. A man can accomplish quite a bit when given enough idle time. But you've played competitively, I assume. I used to, yes. I actually formally retired many years ago, but kept a table at home for practice to keep my mind sharp. Where did you compete? Oh, I toured in England. Wait, you were a pro? A pro is someone who makes a salary. In the end, I won enough to cover my travel expenses and enough to make up for the time I spent not working a real job. Brett was visibly excited. You said England. Did you ever play in the VBC? Yep. I played the VBC for a few years. Eventually I decided the title was a summit I'd never reached, so I quit. Wait, are you Thomas Walsh? Indeed I am. You're a legend! I think you might be overstating it. Even when I was at my prime, I wasn't the best. Results speak for themselves. Nah, fuck that. Excuse me. You were a finalist for 6 years running. Nobody's ever been that consistent. Even the best pros who managed to run hot burn out after more than 2 or 3 years. I mean, it's really common to see guys who spike events and then fail to even qualify the next year. Brett paused, wavering a bit before throwing in a bit of humble self-aggrandizement. I mean, that's been a big problem for me. Thomas sipped his beer. Whether he was deliberately choosing to ignore Brett's comment or simply hadn't taken notice wasn't clear. I spent hundreds of hours watching your videos. I didn't realize there were videos of me. After finals tapes from 1967-1968. They didn't record them before that, but your last 2 years got recorded for posterity. They're kind of rarities at this point though. I had a coach who had a vault of old footage. That's how I got my hands on your videos. Coach? Thomas arched an eyebrow. Yeah. Did you ever have a coach? Thomas shook his head. We mostly just taught ourselves and taught each other. Sometimes you got to practice with people better than you were, but there weren't really coaches to teach you how to play. Well, I mostly taught myself. But after I started winning some regionals, I joined a team so that I could get sponsors and have a group to train with. Interesting. Brett waited for Thomas to question further, but no question came. Brett decided to continue without an invitation. I won the VBC in 2012. No luck since then, I take it? Brett stammered for a moment, unsure of how to respond. Well, yeah. Like I said, I've had some events where I managed to run hot, but I've never been a consistent player. Not like you, anyway. Brett offered a sheepish grin. My mom had an album full of clippings of all these articles talking about me like I was some kind of prodigy, the next big thing. Now it feels like I'll forever be a footnote in history. Brett waited for the words of affirmation to come from his hero, but Thomas just took another drink from his glass, finishing it off before setting it down on the table next to Brett's empty bottles. Can I get you a drink in exchange for another game?
It would be a real pleasure. Sure. Give me a Guinness. Actually, make it 2. Brett rushed down the stairs and returned several minutes later with a tray bearing 2 pins of Guinness and 2 more NAs for himself. Thomas began setting up the table for the next game and Brett hovered over him. You know, this place is pretty magical. I mean, getting to play a game of pool. I never imagined this would happen, but in a place like this... He wasn't quite sure how to say it, but figured Thomas knew what he was gesturing at. Several moments later, Brett finished the thought just to kill the silence. I mean, this is the sort of place where anything can happen, you know what I'm saying? Not anything. There are limits. Well, yeah. But still, 2 former champs, one coming back from, from beyond the grave, so to speak. That's not the kind of encounter you'd expect to have anywhere else. Thomas arched his eyebrow. Magical indeed. When I walked up here, I didn't realize from looking at you that you were, well... He upped his chin. Let's just say that I don't meet a lot of pool pros at bars. One hell of a coincidence that it would be this night that I'm here. He took a sip of his beer. You want to break? Break, said Brett. Thomas gestured at the configuration of balls on the table. Oh, right. Sure. He took a moment to inspect the pyramid. The rack was nice and tight. Had it been like that for the first game? Brett wondered if perhaps his senses were failing him. Brett, broken with hands guided by instinct, managed to sink 5 balls consecutively. Like magic, his shots always managed to connect, even the tricky ones that involved curves and bounces. Brett found himself smiling. Some people might buckle under pressure, but Brett's performance always seemed to rise to the occasion, and now that he was presented with the opportunity to impress his mentor, every shot seemed to go in. With just 2 striped balls left, Brett knew he was on a streak, but as he lined up the shot on one of the striped balls, he took a moment to consider the position of the 8 ball. It was nestled in an awkward position behind Thomas's balls, but if he could clear a path to the 8 ball by sinking the last stripe, it was definitely doable. Brett looked at the sea of balls and knew there was no way for him to mentally calculate exactly how they'd knock around once the cue ball hit them, but instinct had gotten him this far and he wasn't about to stop listening to it now. Whatever the result was, he'd figured it out. Brett took the shot and as predicted, the cue ball knocked the last striped ball into the corner pocket. The cue ball bounced off the table, back toward Thomas' clusters of balls and hit one which hit another and another, which hit the 8 ball. Brett found himself grinning in elation. He'd hit the 8 ball and it was headed right toward the corner just like he predicted. It was headed right toward the corner where there were no balls to intercept it. It was headed right toward the corner into the pocket. The 8 ball slowed down, but Brett felt a sinking feeling as he knew that the friction of the table wouldn't be enough to stop it from going in. As the 8 ball rolled toward the pocket, Brett felt an overwhelming sense of dread. He was fully aware of the impending disaster, yet powerless to stop it. The game had been going so well up until that moment. He had been about to hit a perfect game in front of his childhood hero and now was about to lose it in the most inglorious way imaginable. Brett closed his eyes and looked away from the table. He didn't need to see it. The sound of the ball plunking into the pocket was enough to tell him he'd just lost the game. Thomas began pulling the balls from the pockets and Brett turned back to the table to rack the balls. Moving balls around the table seemed a good way to distract himself from the embarrassing loss. Brett lifted the triangle from the table and presented the pyramid to Thomas.
Do any of you know the rules of billiard or pool or whatever you want to call it? Thank you for the hydro time.
Like, I know very little about it. The last time I ever played billiard was a long time ago. I just know that one person gets the striped balls and one person gets the fully colored ones. And then something, you're not allowed to try and get the black 8 ball in until everything else is down or something. Billiards has 2 more stories though. And after that there's like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's another 14 texts after billiard. Why? Why is suddenly the story about Brad and him playing billiards so long? This one as well? This one is not as bad. Okay. You know, kid, you've got style. Brad perked up. It was the first unsolicited remark he heard from old man Thomas all night. He'd been expecting a compliment after beating Thomas, but to hear that kind of comment after a loss made him perk right up. Thanks, said Brad. It wasn't a compliment. And just like that, Brad's mood came crashing down. Thomas continued. All the best players back in the day, none of them had style. Style doesn't win tournaments. Sure, consistency is what wins tournaments. Consistency doesn't mean anything.
That's a symptom of skilled play. It's not a thing you can just decide on. No one sits down at the table thinking, gee, I better be consistent today. Nobody. So if you're not thinking about consistency, what are you thinking about? The new text today. Oh god. Fundamentals. Thomas chucked the end of his cue. Fundamentals are what matters most, because if you don't get the fundamentals right, all the fancy shit isn't going to matter. Thomas leaned down to line up his cue. The straight-in shot is your specialty. Several opponents told me that exactly that, tongue-in-cheek, thinking that they were insulting me, but I take it as a compliment. If you control the cue ball, you can turn any shot into a chip shot. That's what you want to do. That's how I can still sink them, even at my old age. I know I've been watching you. Your cue ball control is incredible. You're a very talented player. Not talented. You can do it too. The question is whether you've got the discipline and the patience. Thomas followed through his stroke and hit the apex of the triangle head-on. He sank 2 balls, 1 stripe and 1 solid. He pointed to the striped one, signifying his choice. I'm plenty disciplined. When I was in high school, I'd come out every day after school and put in at least 4 hours of practice. Sometimes I'd come in after dinner to squeeze in a few hours more. Then on weekends I'd come and spend all day up here. Of course you did. All the pros have. Anyone can put in time. At a certain point, what matters can't be the number of hours you put in because everyone puts in their time. What matters is how you use that time. And it seems like you spend a lot of time practicing trick shots. Thomas lined up and made several practice strokes. Brett found himself getting annoyed with Thomas. Brett knew better than to try to talk to Thomas while he was lining up a shot. That was bad etiquette and just bad sportsmanship, plain and simple. But it kept him from offering timely retorts to Thomas's statements. It was bad sportsmanship. Brett decided to talk at an opponent in a situation where etiquette forbade him from responding. Thomas finally took the shot and sunk a solid color ball, but a bad bounce put the cue in the pocket with it. Brett sighed with relief as he took control of the ball and with it control of the conversation. You're right, it takes a lot of practice. Brett lined up a shot, aiming at one of the balls in the opposite corner. If you could get the angle just right, he took the shot and the cue ball knocked one of the striped balls into the back left pocket before ricocheting and hitting another ball into the back right pocket, a clean double. Brett tapped the table with his cue as if to emphasize the shot he'd just made. You don't learn how to do shit like this overnight. That's a nice trick. Now, can you do the same thing 10 times in a row without messing it up? No. It's a hard shot, about a 10% for most people, but I'm good. I can get it 30-40%. A 30% shot isn't worth taking. If I offered you a coin flip bet with a weighted coin, would you take it? No, of course not. And yet you take the low percentage shot. I make it a higher percentage shot though. Yes, and I'm sure that you look like a big hero by doing it, and when you miss, no one calls you on it because defensive shots are boring. I can play defensively, but you don't win games by playing defensively. Of course not. There's nothing on the scoreboard that lets you tabulate the places where you denied your opponent a point. Brett was angry now and he began lining up his next shot just so he wouldn't have to hear the old man talk. Some players might get tilted in a situation like this, but Brett played better when he was emotional. Whatever it was that made him play better under pressure also made him play better while angry. No more VN, only punchy. I don't think I'm going to play Devil May Cry anytime soon. That sounds like it would just be frustrating. He couldn't even think about the shots he was making. He was operating on pure instinct and conscious thought. The thought that was chased away by anger was only a distraction. Brett tried for another double. He missed the second ball, but one was enough to set him up for a triple back shot, which he followed with another shot that he put spin on. He didn't even need to curve the ball around anything, he just wanted to show Thomas that he could do it reliably. Fortunately, he didn't get punished for it. His last shot placed one of Thomas's balls between the black 8 ball and the white cue ball. Brett knew that he could sink the shot easily by hitting Thomas's solid into his stripe, but he was on fire and he wanted something flashy. He struck the cue ball's base, driving the leather tip of his stick into the table, and it bounced the ball up and over Thomas's ball, hitting his own and sending it into the pocket. Brett turned to Thomas with a look of defiance. Looks like this game is mine, old man. Yep. He took another sip of his beer. Is that all you have to say? Yep. How about, oh, you outplayed me? Do you need me to tell you that? A little acknowledgement would be nice. A moment after he finished saying it, Brett found himself cringing. He was sounding like a petulant child. He was frustrated and angry and disappointed, but knowing all of that about himself didn't make any of it any less true. Thomas shrugged. I thought you played to win the game, not for validation. Oh, give me a break. That line coming from a pro, when you compete, play to win, sure, but there's money on the line. And the money goes to the person who gets the win. You play to win the game, you get the money, but I get the feeling you're playing for something else. What are you talking about? You play to impress people. That's different from playing to win. That's why you never take the defensive shot. I just won. Yep. But you weren't playing to win.
Just because you happen to win doesn't mean you made the right decision. How the hell does that make any sense? Thomas took a coin out of his pocket. Here's a hypothetical. Suppose I have a coin. I ask you to call heads or tails on a $1 bet. Now, you know that the coin is weighted. It lands on heads 70% of the time. What do you bet on? Heads, of course. No, I flip the coin. It comes up tails. Bad luck. Brad, you just lost $1. But did you make the right decision? What? Thomas continues. If you had called tails, you would have won the bet. Clearly, calling tails is the wrong decision, but sometimes you make the wrong decision and get short-term payoffs. That's why the fact that you won doesn't necessarily mean that you made the right decision. And sometimes these things only reveal themselves after you flip the coin hundreds of times. You know what? I'm getting tired of this old man. I've played hundreds of games, and that's as a pro. Practice games, I play 100 games in a week, easy. Maybe 200 games a week, depending. And how many times have you made the WBC? The WBC. I won the WBC. Right. That's the thing about calling tails. Sometimes even you make the wrong choice, randomness comes up in your favor and you happen to run hot. But in the long run, things don't quite pan out. Brad threw his cue down. So now you're saying that my wins were all due to luck. Not all luck. Like you said, it takes some skill to take a 10% shot into a 30% shot. A lot of skill, in fact. You've got good hands and a good eye for the ball, but the lust for a cool shot supersedes that. You'd rather fail spectacularly than win through boring play. Fuck you! You know what? I actually won the WBC. Maybe I did run hot for just 1 year, but at least I have a championship to my name. You made it to the final 6 times and lost every time, and now your career is done. You're over with. You'll never be a WBC champion, a title which I hold, by the way. You're right. I don't mean to knock the high Ryan's approach. Maybe that's what you want, to win once and then burn out. Yeah, that is what I want, said Brad, annoyed to find himself agreeing with Thomas. What have you done with your life since retirement, old man? Ever done anything wild? I bet I've lived more in one night than you have in your entire life. I'm happy with the way I spent my life, said Thomas. No regrets. His eyes softened. Can you say the same? The question should have come as a challenge, but there was something in Thomas's eyes as he looked at Brad that made it feel even worse. Thomas' expression wasn't one of antagonism, it was one of pity. Brad knew deep in the pit of his heart that Thomas wasn't doing it to attack him, and that made it sting even worse. Brad started to say something but found himself choking on a lump in his throat, and as he reached up and felt wetness on his cheeks, he realized that he was crying. I am also going to cry. I am not actually following what they want me to understand about this whole billiard thingy, except that it's very long. And for some reason, both of the people involved in it are annoying as hell. Maddie came up the stairs to see Thomas standing over a sobbing Brad. Thomas looked over at her and she beckoned him over to the stairs. Excuse me, can you come downstairs for a moment? Thomas looked over at Brad, who was sitting on the floor, face in his hands. He nodded to Maddie and followed her downstairs, leaving Brad to sort himself out in solitude. Maddie slid behind the bar and Thomas sat down in front of her. What are we doing here? Getting you away from him? I think he needs a few moments alone to get it all out. Some people like to cry with others and others like to cry alone. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person who likes to cry in front of others. Right? Can I get you another beer? I think I've had enough for one night. What did you tell him? Do you need to know? No. But I think you're struggling to figure it out yourself, and I think you might have an easier time understanding it if you try to explain it to someone. I'm the only one here, so you can think inside your own head, or you can think out loud. If you want to let, I've got ears. Thomas leaned forward, placing both elbows on the counter. I think I will have the beer, actually. You got it. What do you think I said to him? Are you asking me to guess? Yep. I'm guessing that he's a kid who carries around a lot of painful truths. I'm guessing you told him a truth that turned out to be painful. I think you may be right. I think maybe I tell the truth too often. I've got nothing against the truth in principle, but not all truths have to be told. Do you suppose I ought to make up a story for him? I don't exactly understand what's going on between you two, but he obviously cares what you think of him. He wants to impress you, but I think a false compliment would sting even worse. So what do you think I should do? The kid thinks I'm a damn hero or something. I think sometimes it's okay to give people what they want and not necessarily what you think they need. I get the impression that this would be his last chance to get that from you too. You may be right, but both the truth and lies can hurt people. They can also build people up, making them feel better. When you tell a lie, you're the one that has control. You can lie to hurt people, or you can lie to help them. Sometimes you hurt people without meaning to, but no matter how it turns out, it's on you. The truth isn't like that. You don't get to decide what the truth is. You can only say it. And whether it hurts someone or helps someone, well, that's up to them. Sometimes we hide the truth because we think it hurts. So which is it? Thomas shook his head. Maybe it's neither. Maddie poured Thomas another Guinness. Lies of omission are lies too. Sometimes concealing the truth is just as simple as saying nothing. Do you think you can hurt someone by staying silent? Maddie set the glass down in front of Thomas. Do you think the truth hurts more? Thomas studied the drink in front of him. I guess there's only one way to find out. He got up from the bar, leaving a glass of beer undisturbed as he walked upstairs. Are you sure this game isn't about billiards? At this point, I feel like this game was always about billiards, yes. Brett's eyes were still red when he saw Thomas walking up. He tried to focus on a pool table in front of him, doing his best to ignore the old man. It worked until Thomas put a hand on Brett's shoulder. Brett, do you know what the difference between us is? Brett shook his head. You played for glory. I played for money. Thomas paused. You know how we're similar? Brett shook his head. Neither of us played to win. I thought you said you were in it for the money. Yes. But there are lots of ways to make money playing pool. Thomas leans against the table. I made my career on being predictable. There's a lot of money to be made if you can predict the outcome of events that seem like they're up to chance, especially when you're the one who controls the outcome. Brett looked at Thomas with confusion. Every single year I made the finals, I was favored to win. Betting odds were in my favor. I lost every time. Do you think that I lost every one of those games because of nerves? He shook his head. I played pool for less than 10 years, but I managed to make enough money in those few short years to retire. Do the math, kid. That money didn't come from tournament earnings. Earrings? Brett let out a low whistle and looked at the famous Thomas Walsh with new eyes. You're not the man you think I am. Brett shook his head. I don't believe it. The old man turned away from him, almost like he was afraid to look Brett in the eye as he said it. Like I said, I have no regrets. I played for money, and as it turned out, that was the right decision for me. But for you, I can't imagine anything better than playing for glory. You're still a great pool player, said Brett. No one can take that away from you. And you're a champ. That's something I don't have. You play from the heart. Well, maybe if I'd done the same, I'd have a tie to my name as well. Thomas leaned against the table and nearly collapsed onto the floor. Brett caught him. The old man huffed a bit as he struggled to his feet. Plus, you've been drinking those fake beers all night. Maybe you ought to take a page from your playbook next time. Had enough pool for one night? Yep. As they walked down the stairs, Thomas stumbled on the bottom step and Brett caught him. Feeling okay, old man? I won't be driving home tonight, that's for sure. Brett chuckled and the two of them walked out of the building. On the bridge out of the terminal, Brett looked at the old man, who barely seemed able to support his own weight. There was so little left of him, and yet the old man could play. You're still an ace. You don't keep up that level of skill without a lot of practice. Thomas said nothing. You kept on playing even if you retired. You say you didn't play from the heart? Bullshit. Thomas just smiled at him through wary eyes. At the end of the bridge, Brett paused at the threshold. I guess this is the end? I guess so. They exited the terminal and moments later only one man remained standing outside as the other dissipated from existence, gone to mean whatever awaited him after death. Thomas raised an arm. Taxi. Oh. So Brad's the one that's dead. Also, thank you for the hydrate time. That's interesting. That is very interesting. But thank you for the positive. But there's another 14 stories. And I am already going over time. Oh my fucking god. Okay, we managed to do everything on the left. But all the ones on the right are still left. Ah, damn it. I guess we'll get back to this game again on Sunday to read like the other side over here. I know you guys cannot see my cursor, but like the stuff that keeps blinking, because I do want to read them, but I cannot read them right now. Isn't the same thing about something like billiards? I sure hope not. We can look at a few of these nice pictures though. From all the stuff we have unlocked. Oh.
Ashley. Baby. Baby. Baby.
Oh. This is cool. See, that's why you should have a DOVA-Barista outfit. I'm not that good at designing clothes, actually. I'm already very, very proud of myself for doing what I did.
Oh. Maddie, approved final design. Oh.
Hey, mate, you can't be whistling at them girls. What'll the missus say? What? What? Could be misinterpreted. I shall. What? Government approved nerds.
Ah.
The rest of his body or something. Mood. Billiards. I love stuff like this. I love stuff like this. Ah, okay. Okay, yeah, okay. What do you guys think? We read the rest on Sunday?
Netty boy.
Let's read the rest on Sunday. Which means I need to save somewhere, I guess. I cannot save in here. God damn it. How do I get back home?
Title. Yes, title. There we go.
Well, this game was interesting. Also, actually, we're not completely done. This thing here, Walking to the Sky, is a free-to-play DLC episode, I think. Like, as far as I've seen. So, we have enough to do for another stream, I guess. So I'm gonna push this for Sunday, and then we're going to continue, or like get started on the other game I put on Sunday. Though I'm gonna be honest, I already forgot what game did I put on Sunday. I don't remember. It's another visual novel though. Sundays for visual novels. We like our visual novel Sundays, don't we? Heaven Will Be Mine. Yeah! At least I think it's a visual novel. Maybe. We'll see. Please let it be mellow. It's gay. I think it's gay. So that's something at least. Alrighty. Alrighty. Who do we rate? I love the music that is on the main screen here. The death novels are gay. Everything's gay in here, okay? Alright, let me just... Thanks for the stream. Anytime. Let me just really quickly change this here to a different song. Oh, Genta's playing Okami. We haven't... We love Okami, right? We like Okami. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you so much for coming, everyone. On this Wednesday. I hope you will all have a very nice Friday tomorrow. We're just going to skip Thursday. There's no Thursday this week. Alrighty. Nice, good job reading all that. Yeah. That is not... Hold up. This is what I wanted to do. But yeah, thank you so much for coming tonight, everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow for Audience Sphere this time.
I wish you all a very good night. Thanks for coming. And bye bye.